How's that?
There you are.
Hey, I'm a bit dark. Hang on.
Welcome to the Blab, everybody.
You can take my phone out now.
Yeah.
Cool, that was fun.
Put my my thing in here.
Now, that was weird, wasn't it?
It's already recording, so all of our little fun stuff at the beginning is getting in there. We have, it's good to see you, Andrew Barry.
Hello, Ginger. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Fancy
good.
seeing you
I'm
here.
so excited about that. Fancy seeing you here.
Hello, everybody who's joining as well.
Hello, hello.
Good evening
Hello,
to you.
hello.
I'm well prepared tonight.
Yeah, you are. No fair. No fair. Okay, so welcome to our Jewelry Storybook Blab, our top 10 hand tools. My name is Ginger Meek Allen, and I'm happy to be here with my esteemed colleague, the one and only Andrew Barry.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll put the cat ears on now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is it time for the costumes already?
Get costumes straight away. Get our costumes on. Hope you've all brought your costumes.
I got mine.
Everybody.
Yep. Here we go. I'm ready.
Cool.
All right. Cool. You got to do the whole thing with the ears. You can't take them off.
All right then. Okay. You can't really see. I got books behind me. You can't really see my ears.
Yeah. I'll see how long I last with these feathers. I'm not really sure I can.
Thank you for the props.
Thank you for the props.
Everybody.
So
okay.
What do you say? We've got Martin calling in for a seat. Shall we bring him in and then we'll go ahead and start with our tools?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
All right. We're each going to do 5 of our favorite hand tools tonight. We're very, very excited. We've got quite a few people in the room. Welcome, everybody. Let me do a quick lay of the land situation here. If you're on your phone or if you are on a laptop or a desktop computer, your situation might be a little different. We've got a chat window on one side. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Martin.
We can see you now.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. So Martin has just called in. Whenever there's a seat open, there are 2 extra seats, and Andrew and I will welcome you to join when you're ready. And let me see. I need to do this. And Andrew, now you've got your designated co-host. It should be.
Yep, that's it.
I forgot to do that right away. I'm so sorry.
I'm a guest now.
You were not before?
I was a host before. I'm a guest now.
Oh, now. How about now?
Nope, still a guest. Click once more.
Okay.
There you go. That's it. Cool.
All right. I'm not clicking it again. We're good.
Cool.
Okay, great.
Right.
Great. Now we got that straight.
Sorry, Martin.
Sorry about that. You can hit the button that says Tell a Little Bird and tweet this out at any time, and maybe some of your friends might see it and want to join us. We have the props down in the corner there where you can it's sort of like going whoop, 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 like we like what this person is saying, kind of like heart from Periscope. We're going to be talking about tools, and so at any point, anybody, if there's an open seat, we welcome you to join us. Andrew and I are going to each talk about 5 of our favorite hand tools. I don't know about you, Andrew, but it was really hard for me to pick only 5. And as you know, yes. I changed my mind several times. So
okay. So do you want to go first? Ladies first? Do you want to?
That's so gracious of you. Yes, I would love to.
You're more than welcome.
So my first pick is something that is brand new to my, I'm not going to make it with these feathers for very long, I can tell you that, is this lovely little thing right here. And, one more thing. Let me tell you guys one more thing. If you want to ask a question in the chat, if you'll type /Q before whatever you type in the chat, and it'll come up as a question, and Andrew and I will see that and make sure we get to your questions. So as we're sharing our tools, if you have questions about what we're showing you, feel free to ask that in the chat or to come in and take a seat in the video. And we're hoping that you guys will share some of your favorites as well. So let me get started. This is so super, super, super cool. I have Bryson to thank for this. I just got it recently. I've only used it a couple of times. It's a pair of parallel action locking pliers with wood tips. So it opens like this. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Right? And these are pretty good size wood tips here. And, you know, sometimes holding something while you're working on it is a challenge. So here I've got a ring mount that I'm just going to put in there. And then you squeeze really hard like that. And watch this.
And they lock.
Right.
Absolutely fabulous.
And they are not, I mean, I have to really yank to get them apart. It's super, super, super tight. And the wood isn't going to damage whatever I put in it. I've used it on large ring shanks. I've used it on tiny little, today I made a tiny little tube bezel setting. And it just, I mean, it just works great. I love it. So parallel action locking wood tipped pliers. And in the US, Rio has them. They're about $56, made by Swanstrom.
Made by Swanstrom. Okay, how do you open them?
Just pull. It's not like, I mean, that ring's going to fall out when I do, but you just pull it.
All right.
Yeah. It's got this in here, and you can adjust the distance with this little thing right here, of course. And how it works, I would love to know what's going on inside these box joints, but this piece moves in and out. And I think it's tension. There's tension that happens inside here based on that piece as that moves, because it's fixed on this side but not on that side.
Sure.
So super cool. Yeah, I'm love it. Yeah.
I've made a note already to buy it for then.
Yeah, so I'm going to check the chat now. Parallel action, everybody loves. Wish list keeps growing. Yes, they are Swanstrom.
Julia, you don't write the word slash. You just put the slash. The forward slash.
Type it just like that.
Like that.
So what we learned is that Blab works one direction on a desk, on a computer, and a different direction on a mobile device. So if you're watching on your phone, this is going to be backwards. And if I want to point to Andrew on a mobile phone, I'm going to do this. If I want to point to him, so I don't know. All right, so that's my first one. Your turn, Andrew.
Okay, so mine are really, really boring, okay? Oh, should we get Drenis on?
Yeah, Drenis is here.
Hey, Drenis, okay. So my first one is what we call a leverage gauge.
Nice.
Yep. I did buy it many, many years ago to... Hi, Drenis. Good to see you. And we use this basically to measure diamonds. It can measure, put the diamond in here, and as you move that down, it moves the dial. Okay? This, yeah. This has been dropped on the floor so many times.
Really?
It's gone. I don't use it for measuring diamonds. It's not accurate anymore. But I find it absolutely brilliant. Hello. If you're flush setting diamonds or setting stones, because you can simply put the stone in between the jaws.
Yes.
Close that up. And then say you've got a setting burr. You can put the burr then in between to see if it actually fits.
And if it's the right size.
Exactly.
Okay. Can you lock them once you get a measurement?
No, it is freely moving. Plus you can measure the outside of a device or outside of metal there, and also the inside of holes.
Nice.
But it's been dropped so many times, it's just not accurate enough for measuring diamonds. But when it comes to stone setting, absolutely brilliant, because you know then whether your burr's too big or too small or just the right size. So I find that is much better than using like a vernier or a digital calipers or anything like that.
That was going to be my next question, is how is it different from that?
Because you've got this little area and you can sit the stone in that space there.
I see.
Yeah.
So I can't see it that well, but when you open that up, there's like a bottom to keep it from. So you could put the table of the diamond against that to make sure that it's
should have come a bit more prepared. Let me grab a ring I just happen to have by the side of me here. Yeah.
You had that on your toe, didn't you?
No, I got bells on my toes.
Oh, good. Okay.
So
I'll
yeah,
let you borrow my feathers.
so yes, you can put that on there, and then you can let go, and then you can read off the size, the outside diameter on there. But I use it primarily for doing my stones, just so I know exactly what size it is. But you can buy these, and they're called, I don't know, millimeter gauges. But this was specifically for diamonds, and that cost me about £400, which is a ridiculous amount of money, and that was about 20 years ago.
So did you see, not in my case, dollar signs, but did you see pounds like flying away from it when you dropped it, and it was worth £400, and now it's not worth £400 because you dropped it?
Exactly, yeah. You can send it away to get it repaired and get these fixed. I'm not bothering. But then also, if this does go if it doesn't quite line up exactly, you can also turn the little dial on the back, which adjusts the front part so you can get it just right.
So you can, what is that called? Where you
calibrate it in one respect to get it back onto 0. But I don't use these ones here or that one, because these have been dropped and they're all knackered. No,
my goodness. That's my
That's it. That's a leverage gauge, but you can get millimeter gauges far cheaper. But that's absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
That's mine. That's my number one.
So I'm looking at the chat. Drennis wants some wine, please. And Danielle says this is like the Brady Bunch. Yes, I'm having flashbacks to my childhood already. And Diane says she can't see Ginger or Martin. I don't know, Diane, are you on a phone?
Who said that?
Diane Van Shake.
Oh, right, okay. Don't know.
Jonas, we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
Do you have earbuds? Is your phone on mute, maybe? Is that plugged in?
Are they plugged in? Do you want to plug them in?
Plug them in. Danielle's funny. Hear no evil, see no evil. Charades. We could play charades. That'd be fun. Okay, I still can't hear you, though.
No, I still can't hear him. You'll have to sign everything. Do you think he's having us on?
Do you have this button on? No?
It's his phone there.
No wonder we can't hear him. I don't know.
Let's carry on.
All right, we'll carry on. My turn to go?
Yeah. So I said, Martin, do you want to do you want to say anything about those, or?
No, it's fine, thank you.
No, that's okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
nice
that a
rolling mill you got? Yeah, I was going to say, nice rolling mill you got in the back there.
Sorry?
Nice.
Nice rolling mill.
Behind you.
Oh, yeah, behind me. Yeah, wrong way. Yeah,
that's
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't find it. Somewhere behind there.
That's it. You got it. That's it.
Yeah. Durston.
Direct drive. Cool.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. All right. So I'm going to go on. This is something that I have never regretted buying, and it's very heavy. But this is it's called a bezel block. Do you have one of these, Andrew?
I'm not posh enough to have a bezel block. Is it a round one?
Yes.
Oh, I got a small little one. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have an oval one and an emerald cut shape. But I'm only going to show you this one today. So basically what these are calibrated tapered cylinders, right? And this is the exact same angle that fits perfectly in whichever one I'm going to use, right? So let's say I am making a tube bezel, for example, and I need to true it up. And let's say I want to taper it a little bit. I would use this to stretch it or to compress it, just like a ring stretcher or compressor, but a tiny version. So if I want to, let's say I've got something that's a tube like this, and I want to make it smaller, I'm going to find maybe right there, and let's say I've cut this off and it's only like that big, then I'm going to use a flat punch and whack that and push the cylinder down into one of these holes. Mm-hmm. Let's say I want to stretch something. I put the same cylinder in, and then I use this piece to whack and go down in there and stretch it out. And it's going to be tapered in this angle. Does that mean, I'm not sure I'm explaining that really well. It does a lot of things, is my point. And I have this round one. I have, like I said, an emerald shape one for emerald settings, and I have an oval one for oval settings. They also make square ones and heart-shaped ones and other ones as well. But this is a really, really versatile tool to have. Let's say you didn't...
What angle is that?
What angle is that?
19. Okay. Doesn't it have it written on the block?
It doesn't have it written on the block.
Really?
No.
Okay.
It is 17. I'm sorry. It
17.
does.
Ah, there you go.
17.
I'm glad you asked.
That's
17. And of course, each one is marked with millimeter sizes as well.
So those millimeter sizes, the widest on the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it goes from, it's got 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5. And then it goes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Cool.
So you get half millimeters on the bottom first part. And then bigger it gets, you don't get as much variation. But anyway, bezel block.
Good. Like that. Cool.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
If you put a tube in, you have to cut a wedge of metal out to the bottom first before you hammer it in.
It depends on how you don't, but it depends. If you want to really get a long taper, then you do. You don't. Yeah. But when I go to put one in, and I'm just going to do, a small amount, it will compress to a point. Right. And then the other thing is you want to be mindful of whether you need to anneal it, because sometimes if it work hardens in, what happens is it starts to crunch in on itself instead of moving the way the block is pushing it. So that's another thing, is that I am guilty of, I don't have time to anneal this. I'm just going to shove it in there. And usually I'm sorry that I did that.
So is the bottom compresses, so it gets slightly thicker, and then the top stretches, and the top gets slightly thinner as well.
Right.
So you don't get a complete straight thickness, wall thickness.
Exactly. And then the other thing to keep in mind too is, as the top expands and stretches.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, well done, Dennis.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yay.
All right, I was sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so as the top stretches, obviously there's a limit to that as well. Sometimes they will split and break if you push them too far. So again, something else to think about. But all right. That's
just one question for Martin.
Yeah.
Dee wants to know, where are you from? You have a lovely accent.
Lancashire.
Lancashire, in the UK.
Preston.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay.
And Danielle's quite asking me if you can make cones in it, and the answer is yes, definitely, Danielle. You would definitely. That's what you would use it for. One of many things, but yes.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, Andrew, you're up.
All right. So mine are really boring, like I said, compared to yours. So what I quite like, I started off with this. I know everyone's got one, and it's a piercing saw, but this was the first one I ever bought. But a lot of people will just think that a piercing saw simply saws. And then I've also got a new concept one. And it's a bit like Marmite with these sort of saws, because some people like them, some people don't like them. Some people don't like the way the blades are fitted into the ends. Some people do. I find I get on with these saws really, really well. This one has the quick release lever on the end. So you put your blade in, you flick your lever, and it tensions it automatically. So you don't have to worry about sticking it in your chest and up against the bench to tension it.
What company is that saw? I see this saw frame around a lot. What company is that?
Yeah, this is the New Concepts. New as in Knew. New Concepts. They do various different styles. They do one with a simple screw thread on the end. But I love my saws. These are the two that I use every single day. And a saw does not necessarily just cut. If you have to remove the tiniest little sliver off the edge of a piece of metal, you can just rub the blade along the edge and use the edge of the blade as a file just to remove it. And especially if you've been piercing some really intricate work and you've got a bit of a jaggedy edge, you can't get your file in there, you can just put the blade through and then run the blade along the edge, and you can use it as a file and it will remove it. But really, really boring. But I think it's really, really essential to get on with your saw. And you don't have to buy this type of saw that costs, in the UK, what's this, about £45. You can just use one of these that cost me about £9 or £10, really, really cheap one. And as long as it's a nice, good make, it cuts straight when you saw. It doesn't matter which one you get.
I think too, and I like this one. I know it's not my turn, but
no, it's fine. You jump in.
Yeah. If I could kind of parallel on something or piggyback on something you were saying about how it does more than just cut and how you use. This is really Halloween. I'm trying really hard. How you can use it to almost like like you would use a file or to clean up an edge or something, and the much more gentle touch and the way it's really important with your saw that you're able to feel what's happening as much as you can see what's happening. And sawing is, I know, Andrew, I'm sure you'll agree with this. I would hope so, that when people are first learning, that's the first skill that you really need to master. Exactly. Because you learn so much about the zone, from being able to master the saw. And the other thing to think about is that the saw blade, what cuts, right? If you break down anything that cuts, whether it's a drill bit, a burr, a saw blade, they're all wedges, right? Like an axe is a wedge, right? So anything that's a wedge is a cutting edge. And a saw blade, as tiny as they are, is nothing but a lot of little wedges, right? So if you think about the fact that a saw blade is a series of wedges, then you can use it to cut through, but you can also use it to shave and finesse shape and do all kinds of things beyond just the cutting. So
exactly. And what I always no, go on.
No, please.
But what I always say is that if you buy a sword that costs more money, that looks flash, that is not necessarily going to help you improve your sawing technique. You have to learn how to saw. You have to learn how to handle the saw. You know whether to turn corners with your hands this way or whether you turn the metal. So people expect to buy this saw and then be absolutely wonderful with the sawing, and that isn't the case. It doesn't matter what one you buy, whether this one or the Lion, whatever one you got there, Ginger. You have to learn the basics with it, and then once you've learned the basics, then you can learn other ways that you can use it as well. So it doesn't matter what it is. But what I always tell students who come to me and they keep breaking blades, I always say pretend or make believe that blade you have just made. And if you break another blade, you've got to spend a day or two making another blade. And then they think, well, if I break this blade, I'm not going to be able to do any work for another day. I've got to make another blade. It's amazing how careful then they become. Cutting, thinking. You don't buy the blades, you have to make them. And that really makes you think twice. So number two. That
bit of advice about imagine you have to go out and actually make the blade. If you break it, you have to make another one. That's terrifying. That's horrible.
But in the old days, before you and I were
being a student right now, that
to do. You like that, Dennis? That's what people had to do. There was no machinery. You had to make the tools. You break it, you've got to fix it. You've got to make a new one. So that's why I always say.
So with my students, when I was teaching, whenever somebody would break a blade, and you can just see them I just broke another blade like that. And so I got started doing this thing whenever anybody broke a blade, I would applaud. Yay! No, Like, yes.
Now,
So now
in
you're
reference to
It's only natural.
feeling, in reference to feeling the saw,
Yeah.
what you guys are talking about, as a newbie, what would you guys consider one of the most unforgiving metals to work with as far as sawing, where if it just really won't let you make a mistake, or will really, really make you pay for it, or you can actually, or maybe better put, you can actually start getting the feel for how to work with a saw. What would you guys recommend?
Well, let me say
Are
this
they all
first
pretty
of all.
much the same?
No, well, if you're talking about steel and titanium, that's a whole separate category. And you can cut through steel with a blade, but I wouldn't go there. So copper.
I'm talking about the softer metal, the pure metal.
If you're just pure practicing and learning, I love copper for that. What do you think, Andrew? Just to get in and cut and play. You're not going to want to make a lot of finished jewelry out of that.
No.
But when you're learning your technique,
just get a bit of copper and just draw some lines, draw a straight line, draw a wiggly line, draw curves, and then just gently practice. There's nothing to do with speed. And what I always say, and this is going to embarrass a lot of people, I said, if you've got 6 inches here, use 6 inches. Use the whole length of the saw blade. Just don't go up and down little places. If you've got this much space, saw using that much space, and then do it gradually, and it'll far better than people are tensing up with their shoulders, tensing up with their arms, and try a saw like this, and it doesn't work. You've got to be so relaxed and gentle and just curving the blade if need be. So you'd have to be tense.
Yeah, I also want to mention too is you want to think about making sure you get the right size blade in relationship to the thickness of the piece you're cutting. Oh, come on, Andrew. Yeah.
Since when have you done that?
Size matter.
It does actually. So if you don't have
no, but
no more wine.
Drennis.
Yeah, there's a good rule of thumb is that you want to make sure that is it 3 wedges per
3 teeth to the thickness of metal.
Teeth, at least 3, or is it more than under? Yeah.
No, it's 3.
Yeah, so 3 teeth per the thickness of the piece you're cutting.
Thickness of the metal.
But I don't bother with that. I haven't got time to go messing around changing saw blades.
That's because you've been doing it for so long. When you're
exactly. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, yeah. If I'm doing some really, really fine, intricate work, and you have very small holes, yeah, fair enough. Put like a six-stroke blade in. But I just these are 3. What do you say? 3-stroke? What do you say, Ginger?
3.
I would say 3/0
for the thickness. Yeah, 3 for the thickness of the blade.
Yeah, so that's what I use, and that's all I use, unless I have to go really, really finely delicate, and that's the only time I would change. If I'm sawing 0.5 millimeter thick, 1 millimeter thick, 4 millimeter thick, I just use that blade. I haven't got the time.
Use 3/0 for everything.
Yeah.
So, but there are times when you want an 8/0, say. I mean, they do go up to 8/0. And so how they work is, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, 4/0, 5/0, 6/0, 7/0, 8/0. And when I say aught, I mean like 8/0.
Yeah.
That's 8/0, and that's the teeniest, like you breathe on it and it breaks blade.
Yes. Quite agree. And also then when you come to put it within your frame, don't expect it to have it on the same tension as you do with the thicker blade, because they'll just snap every single time.
Exactly. And you also want to make sure that I use 4/0 for almost everything. So I'm like you. I don't change it a lot, but I have other ones in case, I have them, but the 4/0 are the ones that I buy in bulk because that's what I use the most.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see if we have any questions. Dee wants to know, don't you have a resource on atthebench.com about blades?
Yeah, I do. They actually just posted it now. There we go.
Okay.
That's cool. There you go. Daniel says she doesn't change. Yeah, 6/0. Yeah, she doesn't change a lot either.
Yeah. Dee says you have the skill, but what about beginners? I think we covered that. Am I right? Or Dee, tell me if you had some other thing you wanted to add to that. I'm not sure I understand your question. Seattle Shani, hello. My big mistake, or is that Seattle Shani? Big mistake was I bought a series of blades from 3 to 8, couldn't use them, didn't realize I needed to get 3. Yeah, so though you got big blades, if that's what you did, you got really big blades. Yeah,
but
don't forget the art.
If you are doing things like wood and you want to take a bit out of your peg, or you want to quickly cut some wax, if you use a nice thick blade with a big teeth, well, then you're going to cut through it without overheating as well.
Yeah.
I really like spiral blades for wax, by the way.
Those as well, yes, exactly.
Yeah, but it sounds like we could get into. You said that was going to be boring, but we could get way into that. Okay. All right.
All the way down.
Yeah. All right. So my turn to go next, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one is my vanity choice because I think it's beautiful, and it's this right here. This is a Fretz spiculum hammer. Let me bring it up so you guys can see. Look how gorgeous that is. Is that not beautiful?
Nice.
Okay. So what is this for? So I thought about just like we could do a whole session on sawing. I think we could do a whole session on hammers and what they do. This one is
fold forward. I see that type of hammer.
I didn't catch what you said, Jonas. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think a fold forming when I see that type of hammer, especially the other.
Yeah, it's really designed for synclastic and anticlastic raising, but I use it for a lot of other stuff too. And it's a cross peen. So what you want to think about when you're hammering is that if the face of your hammer is horizontal this way, it's going to spread the metal perpendicular to the way the face of the hammer goes. So when I strike a piece of metal with this hammer, it's going to go this way and this way. It's not going to go this way. Whereas a ball peen or round face, a planishing hammer is going to spread the metal in every direction.
It's unidirectional or it's like lateral.
Correct. Right.
So what you're saying, Ginger, is that it'll spread it perpendicularly to.
It'll spread it parallel to the head.
The hammer's not.
Right. So
right?
The metal, that's that. Your audio is breaking up. I think I heard what you said, that it spreads the metal perpendicular to this. Yeah, so it goes like this, like that. Okay. And I also love to use it for texturing. My work has a lot of texture in it, and so this is my go-to texture on like a raised rim. I will use this to upset the edge of a raised rim like this and create a little dimpled texture all the way around. But that's just one of my fun uses of this kind of hammer. But this is my favorite hammer. I like, if my studio caught on fire, I'd probably grab 5 things, and this would be one of them.
When did you buy it?
This is a long time ago. I know you've probably noticed that he's changed. Bill Fretz have you met him? Do you know Bill Fretz?
I haven't met him, no.
Andrew? Yeah. I don't think they do this kind of carved handle anymore. I mean, it's just gorgeous, I've had this hammer for about 10 years, I think.
Nice. They are cool hammers.
Maybe 8. I'm not sure. It's been at least 5 years. I know that. So,
cool hammers.
Yeah.
I like them.
So that's my favorite hammer. Your turn, Andrew. Wait, do we have any questions? Oh, that's a newer one. You got one too?
Yeah, I've just got the simple goldsmithing one.
Okay. Tell us about it.
It's a hammer.
Hammer! Hammer time!
Thanks, Dennis. It took me about 25 years before I actually bought this hammer because I thought any hammer would do. But this is absolutely it just won't cut it, I'm afraid. But yes, half is the same as yours. You've got that cross pane edge that
Right.
you can do your. Yeah.
But let me
exactly.
see the shape. Let me see the shape of that cross pane. Yours is flat, I'm guessing.
It's slightly curved, but it's a lot narrower than yours.
Yeah. Do you see the difference in the two, guys? And these look the same, but this one is about half as thick as this one.
Yeah.
And we could do another whole blab on how to take care of hammer faces.
You see, that looks like a creasing hammer.
A what?
Creasing hammer. Creasing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. But anyway, back to my hammer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can use this fold form in Drennis and texturing on that. And then also you can use the other half, which is flat and round. And you can use that for, as you say, for planishing, for riveting and whatever. But I found this is absolutely wonderful. It's got a gorgeous weight to it. It's just absolutely wonderful. I didn't really want to spend the money on it, but I'm glad I did. A lovely weight on it. Fantastic. That's what I really got to say.
That's about a $80, $90 hammer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this cost me about £45, £50. Mm-hmm. It is a lot of money compared to Martin's. But I haven't had this long. I may have only had this about a year. But the faces are still perfect. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I hats off to Brett.
Very nice. Yeah, he's developed some really wonderful tools. I've everything I have of Fred's has been really, really wonderful. Dee says that they've got some echoing happening. If you're having audio it sounds fine to me, but I would say refresh the page. Go out, come back in, refresh your browser window, and see if that doesn't fix it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's my number 3. That was, yeah.
That's it. All right.
Can I
cool.
go next? Can
Sure.
I go next?
Oh, go on,
Yeah,
Dennis.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
what do you got?
All right. Well, I'm going to name myself the beginner's corner down here because I am a beginner. So I thought you guys are giving me these fancy hammers, but I'd like to show you my that I received actually yesterday. Very generous person, and I'm very grateful. But what I've learned is that you can take beginners, especially this is the beginner's corner down here. You can take these hammers and you can find, you really don't have the money, you don't have the money to get an established hammer from an established company, like you guys have mentioned. You go to the hardware store and pick up something that would work for you, something that feels comfortable. Take it home. And what you really would have to do, from what I've learned, polish and make sure it's nice and smooth. So with mark your jewelry. But in my eyes, as a beginner, this is such a wonderful. We don't have the funds yet to kind of go out there. But I think it's just great. You take these hammers and refinish them and reface them and actually work for you. So don't lose doubt. Kind of manipulate it, go out there and read all the tools. I'm pretty sure that you guys have all done. We'll all kind of keep doing it, as we progress. Yeah, that's it right now.
Yeah, so I like what you're saying about how it's completely possible to dress. We call that dressing a hammer. You can certainly take tools that aren't necessarily intended for fine jewelry work, and as long as the quality of the steel is there and it's not a porous casting of steel, you should be able to polish it up really, really nicely. So that's excellent.
And what I always say is that if you do have a mark on the face of the hammer, every time you hit the metal, you're going to impart that mark on the metal. But that may be your intention if you want a texture. Or if you simply want to hammer something flat or anything like that. Every mark you put into the metal, you have to then try and get back out. So it is always important to keep the face perfectly polished at all times. Just saves an awful lot of work.
It's true what you're saying, though, Andrew. I've gone out to flea markets and I've actually seen hammers with indents in their front. And I thought, wow, that would be interesting. So yes, you can be on the use of the face of the hammer. That is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and one last hammer comment, and then we'll move on. But sometimes people will take files and actually create patterns in the face of a hammer that it was used just for texturing. So that's something else to think about.
You can buy a really cheap hammer in the pound shop here, and you can just bash the hammer face against a brick wall to get a texture, and then just simply use that. You don't have to buy an expensive texturing hammer to produce a text. You buy a cheap hammer and just produce your own textures.
Yeah, and then you've got a signature texture that nobody else is going to have.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So let me see. How many have we done so far?
Oh, 3. I need 3.
I'm on my number 4.
You got 2 to go.
I got 2 to go. So I did a scope about this tool, and so some of you may have seen it before, but I love it so much I'm going to do it anyway. And it's this guy. We affectionately call this the $1 million tool simply because it feels like it's worth $1 million. So it's a jig. It's called a miter jig, and I'm going to raise these up. Miter jig, Danielle, I'm guessing she has one. So we've got different angles here. We've got a 60 degree, a 45 degree. See that? And here's the 90 degree at the bottom. So what I can do is, and I'm going to use this, I'm going to get a piece of tubing here. Let's say I want to cut this tubing and I need it to be exactly 90 degrees. I'm going to put it in the jig like this. I can screw this down so it holds it perfectly nice and tight. Accurately cuts an angle, and now I've got a 90 degree edge that I can either file or cut, but I can do the same thing and get a angle like this. Let's say for some reason, like, and if I'm doing, when I do a lot of hinge work or whatever, it's just really, really handy. Because now, if I cut flush with the face of the tool, I've got a perfect 60 degree angle on the edge of this piece of tubing. So, and then you can also, there's another piece that goes in this. So you can make a stop so that you can know that they're always going to be the same length every time. So it's a miter jig. I call it a $1 million tool. And this is my number 4.
Excellent. We have a few problems with audio by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got, you're becoming very crackly now, Ginger.
I am.
A bit like a Dalek.
Oh no.
I'm petrified of Daleks.
I am too. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refresh my page. You're hosting while I'm gone. I'll be back.
I just did that with me, and it's still echoing.
All right, I'll be back.
But you do that. Okay, no problem. Oh, I'm in the hot spot. Yeah, that's better. Is that better? Talk, Ginger?
Is that better?
Yeah, cool. That's much better.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool. So, my number 4.
Yes.
Again, really boring, but really, really essential. Very similar to what you showed your number 1.
Parallel pliers.
Yeah. They are just awesome for holding stuff. Large ones, small ones. I hate the ones with the springs, though. You can get the ones with the springs. I really, really hate them because I just want to be in control of how they open, not what the spring wants to do. But I find these absolutely awesome. You can get snipe nose versions as well. But we use these every single day. and they are ideal for holding things because you try and hold a little jump ring in your normal flat nose pliers, and because the pliers do that, they're not parallel. And 9 times out of 10, you'll pick up a pair of flat nose pliers, with a little jump ring in it. You try and file, and because there's only contact in that one particular spot, the jump ring will just go flying. So parallel pliers.
What are the jaws like on the inside of yours? Are they smooth?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are smooth. Yeah, you've got straighted ones, have you?
I've got some. Look at the. Can you see the inside of that?
Yeah, you're going for wire.
Yeah, I've got one for wire, and I've got a flat one. I got one that's a D
You're
section.
just showing off now. Are you just showing off? Come
The little-
on. Come on. I'm at home. This is what I brought from work. Come on, give me some.
I'm sure you have plenty. But the point is that I use them all. It's not like, they're not. It's. I'm not trying to say go buy 6 pairs of them, but they kind of have different functions.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just can't do that. If you even want to hold a little bit of metal you want to file that you can't hold with your fingers, pop it in these, and Bob's your uncle. Absolutely brilliant.
Monica says she took the springs out of hers.
Yeah, I think there was not on these, but yes, I did have. I tell a lie. There was a spring on this one. So, take it off. Yeah, I hate the springs.
Yeah.
I want to be in control.
Yes.
So there we go. My number 4, parallel pliers. Can't do without them.
My number 5 is pliers, but a different kind. Hey, Dee's coming in. Let Dee in. And then I'm going to show you my number 5.
Be polishing, Dee.
Dee wins the costume contest. She's ready for the dollars, too.
Dear.
Oh, I had to.
I love it. Is that Charlie?
It's Charlie.
Charlie.
He couldn't figure out what that was either.
Oh.
Okay, sit down. Sit.
Awesome. All right. So my number 5. And I've got 5 different versions of my number 5. And after what you just teased me about that, but they're all different and they're forming pliers. Okay. So these are a pair of pliers.
Yeah.
With a Delrin panel on the inside and a curved jaw. What would that be called? A jaw right there.
Yeah.
And these similar, but 2 Delrin ends. Quite worn, as you can tell. These are all steel, but again, a different radius, right? Same thing, very old, different radius. And I sometimes put tape on them so it doesn't scratch. So that's what that is. But, Andrew, you did a scope last week on your shank bender.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is like the poor man's version of that.
No, that's the strong man's version. If you got strength to shape the metal that I was trying to shape, better person than what I am.
Yeah, so I would use this to bend ring shanks as one of the ways. Anytime I'm trying to bend something that's straight, bend it into a circle, and a lot of times I'll work my way down. So I'll start with the most gentle curve, and then I'll go to this one, which is a little bit more of a smaller radius, and then I'll go to like one of these that is it's a real tight curve, depending on what I'm trying to do. So it just makes easy work of forming something into a curve. And so forming pliers, that's my number 5.
Very good. I like them.
And Danielle says anneal.
It is, yeah, exactly. Right. So my number 5, hand tool, I don't know. If it isn't, I've got a substitute, okay? Get
Okay. I'm kidding. No, please carry on. I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
White nylon bristle brushes. If I was on a desert island and I had 2 tools to have, one would be the pendant motor and one would be the white nylon bristle brushes.
They have electricity on the desert island.
All right. You pick it down. Okay. So yeah, white nylon bristle brushes. They are brilliant for doing everything. Not quite everything, but
Andrew, how thick are those?
they're very thin.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
they're
you'd
about,
used some that were a little thicker also.
yeah, I think it's about 19 mil.
Okay.
I've tried goat's hair brushes. The problem with goat's hair brushes, I found that when you spin them too fast, the hairs come flying out and they stick in your top and you're itching all day. Then you pick up the little goat's hairs in you. But the white nylon bristle brushes, absolutely brilliant because they will conform to the shape. They will get between claws to clean. They can get inside shoulders, between settings, in sort of 90-degree bends you can get in with it. They will go most places. They'll get inside engraving if you're trying to polish it. Textured surfaces, you put it on a big mop. The big mop will just skim the surface. These will conform to the shape you're trying to polish.
Nice.
But yeah, I know, and it's not particularly a hand tool, but I love these. And you can do the insides of shanks, the outsides of shanks. You can clean up pretty much the majority of stuff with those.
Danielle wants to know what kind of finish do they create?
I will put Tripoli with that, and that'll be a pre-polish. I don't use them with rouge. They're just that little bit too coarse for that.
Oh,
but
really?
we use these and right down to the actual metal. But they will do like a pre-polish. So once you've used your buff sticks, which was my substitute in case I wasn't allowed those, once you've used your buff stick, I just go straight from that, perhaps to that, straight to a rouge soft mop. But those white nylon bristle brushes, don't go for the black ones, don't go for the goat's hair, but white nylon bristle ones.
What's the difference in the white and the black?
One's white. Come on. Oh, one's black.
Oh, he's sassy.
But, yeah, exactly. I find the white ones are better. I don't find the black ones cut enough. I find the bristles are too soft, but the white nylon ones stay in a nice stiff position. The black ones tend to bend, so instead of a nice sharp edge, they will tend to do that. They will splay a bit.
Oh,
yeah, because
okay.
they're a little bit softer.
Yeah.
The nylon ones stay crisp all the time, all the way down.
Do you know who makes them?
Pardon?
Do you know who makes them?
No idea. I just buy these from Sutton Tools. I think they're 19 millimeters in diameter.
I got some from Rio, and I thought they were nylon, but it turns out they are goat's hair when I looked more closely at them. So they do.
Yeah.
But I'll use them up.
These don't shed like the goat's hair do, but it's got to be a nylon, a white nylon.
Okay.
There we go.
Excellent. So Julie says she's seen those in the Stellar catalog.
Yeah, I think the majority of suppliers have got them in the catalog. Yes.
Yeah, excellent. So Dee, what'd you bring to show us?
Well, the first thing was my mask.
Love it.
Okay, I have some rather unusual ones. This is one of my favorite jewelry tools.
What is it?
Well,
what do you use that for?
They're rubber-coated wire.
Like for floral stuff?
Yeah, they're made for floral. They're about the size of an 8-gauge wire. And I have my little thing of... I do a lot of work with different kinds of, like that kind of a bracelet where I do a lot of forging. And I use these to try and figure out how much wire I need. So I can bend them and I can shape them into the wire.
Good, yeah.
And knowing what the length, they come in an 8-inch length. It's only $4, but it comes in an 8-inch length. So I can bend the wire however I choose to make it. And then like if I'm going to make a bracelet, I'll bend that, then I'll put it on my arm and go around and see how much excess I have. And then I'm able to do it. I just started using these. I used to use this, which is another one of my favorite tools. It's a seamstress measuring tape.
Mm-hmm.
So for the things that I do, it's flexible, so it works great to be able to figure out how much wire I use. But I brought a couple examples. I made, this is just a brass one, but I wanted to make a bracelet that was a bangle that's a strange shape like that. And so what I did first is I knew that this was 8 inches. I bent it, made sure that my hand would fit through. And then I used that, figured out the length, and then I was able to come up with that. So I did that one for that. And then I did the same thing for, I guess it fell apart, but for that bracelet to determine how much wire, because I hate to waste wire. It makes me crazy if I have, a little bit of excess and it ends up going in my little scrap thing. So I've just found it really helpful. It's, a cheap little tool, and they're very flexible and reusable. A couple other things this pendant that I made, it's hard to see what it is, but I do a lot of those kinds of fluid shapes. And I find them very, very useful. So it's an unusual jewelry tool, but one that I absolutely love and couldn't live without.
That is a great, great tip. Thank you. Love it.
You're welcome.
Cool. How about you, Martin? Do you have anything?
What special tools you mean?
No.
Oh, anything?
Well, my favourite.
Yeah.
What I think? Probably my bench peg.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing I've ever bought.
Yeah.
You can't beat a good bench pen. Yeah.
Where I'm at, bench peg.
That's it.
Standard one.
So do you,
Yeah.
I have a tendency to flip mine around. So sometimes I want it slanted like this.
Yeah,
And
both
sometimes
sides.
do you use both sides?
Both sides.
Mhm.
I never fit mine.
Best thing I've ever bought.
It's the
So
center
handy.
of the universe.
Yeah.
You copied me. That's what I say. Did you copy me? Did you
I'm-
copy me?
I'm
Did
quoting you. I'm quoting you.
Thank you. That is the center
I'm
of
going
the
to come in
universe.
there.
Everything revolves around your bench peg.
Bench peg.
That's it. That is your center of the universe.
And the gas torch.
Exactly, yeah. Can't do without
Yeah.
either.
No.
Yeah.
And the good thing, as you use the bench peg, the more it gets shaped to the way you work as well.
Yeah.
So a lot
always-
of pegs. Go on.
You can tell if someone's right-handed or left-handed by looking at that thing.
Yeah. So what I did a little sort of experiment. I didn't cut the V into it at one stage, one of my pegs, and I just let it sort of grow organically. And I found that I'm right-handed, so it goes in that direction. The V has automatically, over time, worn its way this way.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show us your peg?
Look at this little stubby thing.
That's it, yeah. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I've had that one for a long time. I love it. So I want to come back because I'm thinking, Dee, you probably have some other stuff, but before I do, let me ask, or let me just say that if there's anybody in the chat who wants to come in and have a seat here in the video, just put that in the chat and just say, I'd like a seat or something like that. So that we know that you want to come in and show us some tools and chat for a bit. Okay. Dee, what else do you have?
My favorite forging hammer. This is a very inexpensive hammer. Andrew, I could knock your teeth out. And this is very special to me because it was given to me by my jewelry teacher. And he used to describe himself as a screw merchant. He started a company as a young man with bolts and screws in the New Jersey area. And so he never had fancy tools. He always used cheap tools. And he was very careful with his, I used to tell him that he threw dollar bills around like they were manhole covers. He just hated to spend money. So he went to Harbor Freight, which is a store in the States that has lots of tools. And this was one of a set of five. Yeah, very cheap. But I'll tell you that the face on this polishes up beautifully. He made some amazing jewelry with it. And the second year that I took a class from him, he gave me this hammer. So it's my favorite. It's my go-to. And it's nothing fancy, but his spirit lives in this hammer, and it will always be my favorite. So I have that one.
Very good.
Want to see my other ones? As long as I've got the thing.
Go on. Yeah, carry on.
This is another one of my favorite little tools. It's a little. I got them at the bookstore, but they're just a little notebook to carry. So I always have a notebook in my purse or with me, so that if I see something, I can jot it down. So I find something like this is invaluable. No matter where you go, you see inspiration, and my memory doesn't work all that well. So this is, and I've got quite a few of them. The big sketchbooks are great, but this one's on the go. And I introduced these to my teacher. He used to sit at the ballet, and he would see things, and he'd scrabble, grab a piece of paper and a pen and try to remember to write things down. So I got him hooked on these also. So he had a whole series of these. So that's a favorite thing. I've got two more. This was a gift from another friend that I met on the internet, and it's a piece of wood. I'll put it up there. It's lingam vitae, I think is the name of the wood. It's used in knife handles, and my friend knew that I was doing bezel setting, and so he sent this to me to use. He said it's the only thing he ever used to set bezels, and it's got a little bit of a waxy. Are you familiar with this wood, Martin?
Yeah. I know it.
Yeah, it's great.
And,
so he can you can shape this down, and it doesn't mar the surface of the metal. And so instead of using the traditional burnishers, you can do the whole thing with this. So it's got a it's very much like a pencil. I don't know if you can see that, but a great tool. And then I wanted to find unusual things that I find that I use all the time. And this is another Harbor Freight item. It's just a little box, and it's inside of it are all these individual little boxes like this. So I do a number of things using jump rings, and keeping them organized was a challenge for me. So I just put little labels on the outside so I know what they are and what I use them for. And fine silver balls, all those kinds of things. So if you need something that's, a good little organizer, was cheap, but I find that this has worked really well for me. So I don't know, it was maybe less than, I was probably around $10 or $12, maybe even that. So great little tool. And when I travel, I can just put the essentials in here and take it with me, and they're all organized and not moving around in different places. And then of course this that I started out. I must have, either I have a really big nose or a high bridge on my nose, but I was getting terrible pressure on my nose using those other little masks, and I knew that I needed to be careful about inhaling stuff. So I've started to put this on, and it's much more comfortable. I can breathe. It doesn't fog up my glasses. And so it looks like a little bit of overkill for, regular polishing at the bench, but I figured I'd save my lungs. So
I hope you take them off. Hope you take them off when you answer the door to the mailman.
Oh no, I leave them on, that and my visor too. I'm all set. So that's my set of suggestions of great things that I enjoy using.
Very
nice.
Beyond
the norm.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything who's in the chat wants to come on, and do they have any tools? Do they want to have a chat about anything?
There was something really, really strange happening over there.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I wonder what that was.
Oh, I did say, and I don't know that they saw, I think it'd be great if we could do a blab on hammers.
Yeah.
Talk about the use of the different types of hammers. That would be terrific.
We could do a whole thing on that. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're saying you look like Robin Gibb.
Hey, we are children of the world.
Oh, with those teeth.
Go back. It's like that. That was good though.
I had a Bee Gees album somewhere around 1979, I think.
Cool.
And another one would be gifts that were given to you by mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's a great idea, Danielle. Love that one.
As I said, I don't get out much, so no one's given me anything.
Oh, you got that great shirt.
Oh, my shirt.
Come on.
There you go. There you go.
All for melting gold in the palm of my hand.
So, and Danielle says she uses an agate burnisher. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that as well.
Yeah, yep. I just have my sawed-off toothbrush.
And that's a good one too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another blab of tool modifications. That would be fun.
That's right. We could go on forever. So who else wants to share? We've got 19 people in the room right now. Anyone else want to come in and share? Just give us a the GRS system is a favorite. No need to be shy. No need to be shy.
Where's Shelly? She's probably in her PJs. We should have her come on.
Yeah, Shelly's there. Much way on her back, is she? If you know what. Sorry.
Oh, Andrew, jeez.
Well,
I know. I look. Thank you, Mark. I meant it. She isn't very well. She broke her back, so she's on her back. It was a simple comment. It's the mind it goes into, not the mouth it comes out of.
Oh, that's not fair.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let me do this. Let me. Martin, would you mind if we open up your spot?
It's okay. My battery's going, actually. I'll have to go.
Well, I want you to stick around as long as you can.
Okay.
But I'm thinking that if we open up a spot, we might have someone willing to pop in.
I'll jump out.
Well, it doesn't matter. Martin's been here from the beginning, so that's why I asked him to. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm happy to see you. It's wonderful to have a face and a voice to put with the name, and do hang around. Don't leave.
Will
Okay.
do. I'll try my best.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Martin. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there is a spot open. We're hoping someone will jump in. It's been a PG-13 blab, Diana says. Do you guys have movie ratings like that in the UK? PG-13 so far.
Mental guidance, yeah. But as I said, it's the mind it goes into.
Mark says he apologizes for his Welsh friend.
How about
Where
Mark?
is Mark?
Yeah, come on, Mark.
Come on, Mark. Come on in.
Oh, did you record this? Oh, you are recording it.
We are, yes.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be, all your antics are going to be, preserved. Andrew.
He doesn't look very happy in that picture, does he?
Hey, Mark.
You've only got to tell it. Yeah, tell him. Yeah.
How do you like my costume?
Oh yeah, good. I'm in the dark here.
You are in the dark. What's the deal?
Hey.
I'll put my costume back in.
Screenshot.
Okay. Right, my dog is crying. Hang on a second.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Come on, baby. Yeah, I'm cool. I got no new tools to show. No old tools to show you.
Screenshot somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. I don't. I'm actually sitting in my study on the on my desktop. So Andrew, so this is all quite new to me. Right. So yeah, very enjoyable so far. I haven't seen a lot except his teeth. Hey, I was really pleased that this was a major achievement for me. Can you see it? Can you see that silly ring? Can you see that?
Your tiny little ring?
Yeah, hang on.
Like a Valley's wedding ring.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 0.28 millimeter thick.
Okay.
And it was broken, and I actually put a piece in it.
Good for
that's
you.
what you were saying.
Yeah.
You said
Well
you were
done.
going to insert it somewhere, and I wasn't sure where you were going to insert it.
It's all in the mind. Yeah. So it was when Andre and I got married. Her brother bought us a Russian wedding ring, which was 7 bands, six gold and 1 platinum, one for every day of the week. And over the years, they've all worn away and lost it. And Andrea only had this one left. And yesterday she had it on, but it had a great gap in it where it snapped. And she said, "Oh, it's a shame. This is our last one, you know." So I said, "Yeah." She said, "Can you put a piece in it?" I said, "Gordon Bennett, so as I put the torch on that, the whole thing will become a blob, you know." But I thought, well, she said, "I don't mind. Put it in the scrap." So I said, "Okay." So I thought, well, before I put it in the scrap, I ought to test myself. And so I got a little bit of gold. I put it through the mill, and I measured it, and I got it the same thickness. Then I cut it with my saw, and then I did like Andrew suggested a while ago. I soldered one end first, and did that, and then with the half round pliers, boom, boom, and it worked.
Bob's your uncle.
I used the little tiny torch, the kitchen torch.
Yeah.
And a little bit of gold on the end of a pick, and it worked. And I was so chuffed because it wasn't that long ago I couldn't solder a plumbing joint,
Brilliant.
So I was really pleased with that. It's so thin. So we're learning, Andrew. So it's all going in.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have your other pendant that you made?
Yeah, I don't have it. No, she's got it.
Oh, you gave it away
to my Joseph's partner, not Noemi Gonzalez. She's out in New York, and she's here at the moment. And she was the very first person who spotted that lump of black glass that I had. I bought a bunch of stuff for ages ago from Manchester Minerals, and she said, "Oh, look at that, that's lovely." And it was all rough, and so I polished it, and it came up. And then I did some search, and I found it was the
obsidian.
Yeah, obsidian. Yeah, which is 3 million year old volcanic glass. So I cut it into a diamondy shape and played around with it, and it turned out okay. And she said, "Oh, I love that. That's great." So I then used it as a project to make it for her, and she sent me a message today. She's back in London, and she said, "Just looking at my pendant and thinking about the lovely time we had when we were home with you and Andrea, and thank you very much." She's great. So
that's lovely. What memories are made of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a piece of tat, really. It's
not at all.
My excuse is that it's this is not one like what you would buy in the shop. This is like artisan.
But it has a story, just like Ginger's things.
Yes,
Wonderful.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're given a great example of my whole concept of it's got a story now, and every time, like she's just said, when she looks at it, she remembers the time you had
That's lovely. That's right. And it was on the day that my eldest son Benjamin got married, and they came down from to Wales especially for that. So it was all nice. It was good.
Oh, it's lovely.
Excuse me a sec. I gotta come now. Come on. Oh. My baby. She wanted to say hello.
Hello.
This is Rosie.
Right, Daxie.
And she's a mini Daxie, and she's
long hair.
Yeah, she's a long haired. You're right, baby. Daddy's go. Yeah, I know.
Oh, kisses.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, you know why? She's very crafty because she can. She just loves extra strong mints.
Mints.
Extra strong.
Wow.
Never.
Wow. Altoids.
And I shouldn't give them to her really, but I can't resist that.
Did you just split that with her?
Hey?
Did you just split it with her?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen that before.
Look at her go. Wow. So I'm going to be scoping with my Jack Russell probably.
Oh, you got Jack Russell.
I've got a Jack Russell, and next week my Jack Russell lives with my daughter now.
Oh, lovely.
And so I'm going to visit my daughter, and I'll make sure that I scope with my daughter and the Jack Russell.
Jack Russell.
I had a couple of Jack Russells. My first Jack Russell was a black and tan, and I called her Trump, which was the name that Jack Russell, the Reverend Jack Russell, who bred the breed, that was the name of his first dog, Trump. And she was gorgeous. She was such a lovely dog. But you can get some, they are terriers, and they can be very protective.
Well, she can be standing completely still and jump at least 4 times her own height. I mean, the jumping is insane. Can you guys hear the train?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was my daughter. She just came onto Skype. I thought, oh my God.
It'll be gone in a second. I'm sorry. I couldn't mute my.
How do you invite people on here? If we wanted to invite somebody to come and have a look.
They just need the link to the.
Right.
Yeah, that's all. Anybody can come in.
We can't do it like we do it on Periscope. On Periscope, we can swipe.
All you can do from here is tweet it. So
yeah, you can. You got Tell Little Bird up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that then should tweet onto your
right. Okay.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Only it's just that I promised Joseph. He downloaded it, and I said I would tell him when it was on, and I forgot.
Yeah, click on Tell Little Bird.
Yeah,
and I think
Grammys did it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that, and I guess because if you're running it on a browser window, you can always open another window.
Oh yeah, I could do. Yeah, but I'm yeah.
Or if you have your phone, you could text him and tell him it's happening now.
Hey, they're good now. You got a phone, right?
There you go.
Right. In this little intermission, let me sort something out for D.
Oh, yeah,
thank you. What I used.
Yes.
Yep.
What?
Carry on, Mark.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, carry on, mate. Sorry. Yeah. Little tripod. It's called a jellyfish tripod. Yeah. And then it's got the little. I'm with my phone. There you go. So you can put your phone into it.
Is that your new phone?
Yeah, this is my 6S.
Okay.
And then you can also turn it that way as well.
I'm writing it down. Jellyfish tripod?
Jellyfish, yeah.
What's the bottom of it?
It comes in 2 parts. It comes in the legs and then the other part that you can... Okay?
Can you make it taller or no?
No, that's a set size,
okay.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that's what I use to hold the phone in.
Would my phone fit in it?
What's that?
It's a 6 Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that'll fit, yeah.
Because I know like some of them this part doesn't open big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does, yeah. That'll go.
Yep. The one I got is like the one Andrew's got, but without the tripod.
Yeah, so that was that.
And it's called Jelly. Is the brand Jellyfish?
Jellyfish, yeah.
That's the brand.
Jellyfish.
From Amazon.
Amazon AndrewBerry.tv/scope kit.
Yeah.
Right. Great.
Put that up again, please.
Oh yeah, good idea. Wait a minute.
Thank you.
And again, don't go. Hang on. Oh, I can't put my camera. Oh God. Okay, Andrew. Arm's getting tired.
Poor Andrew. He's had too much wine.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Robin.
You like that better than the Gorilla Pod?
Yeah, I got the Gorilla Pod as well, but that tends to be quite big and bulky. But the good thing about that, yes, you can bend the legs on that, and you can put it different heights, so that's pretty good. And then I've got a microphone.
Yeah.
That I use as well, and that's a clip-on lavalier mic.
They do a cheap version of that, don't they?
They do, that one there. Yeah, they're all on the website.
Yeah.
That's a cheap version. That's the Rode.
Yeah.
There's not much difference between the two.
No.
And that plugs into your phone.
Right. What DCLR, not DCLR, what video cam do you use in the studio?
In the studio, I've got a Canon XA10.
Wow.
Which is the main one, and then I've got another small little HD one as well.
Lovely.
Canon as well.
Canon.
I'm
a Nikon man.
I'm not a Canon man. I'm a Nikon with my.
Oh,
DSLR.
good. Yeah. Canon make photocopiers, you know.
Yeah.
Nikon make cameras.
Exactly. So then.
Ooh. Oh yes.
The clips, the Olo clip.
Yeah.
That goes on top.
And is that just for wide angle?
That's a wide angle, and there's a telephoto on the other side.
Wow.
Oh, telephoto too.
Unscrew them, and then you've also got a macro, 10 times macro.
Oh,
wow,
brilliant.
15 times macro on the other side.
Cracking.
But if you don't want to go to that, you can have.
I thought you were afraid it was going to scratch your phone.
Oh, no, that doesn't. That's pretty good. Or you can get the clip-on type.
Joseph
says he's just joined. Oh, yes, he is. There he is at the top. Hi, Joe.
Oh, let me take my hat off then. Since we have a guest.
Now, Andrew, all this information's on that website?
Yeah, and there's a clip-on one that you can just clip onto the front like that.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And again, that's a macro, and that's a wide angle as well.
And do you find there's any distortion, or is it's pretty good?
I find for scoping, they're okay. But for taking actual photographs,
no,
the quality degrades with that one. But the Olo clip is really, really good.
Excellent.
I was wondering if you could use it with the webcam. You can.
Yeah. Cool.
Look.
Yeah, and that's
far away Ginger, up close Ginger. Far away Ginger.
And then I've got things like extension lead, if you want to do it, and there's a double socket one, so you can, if you're interviewing people, they can both have microphones, and that will go into your phone.
Excellent.
As well. And then also, bear with. Oh, hecky thump.
Got a close-up of your shirt.
No, I can't find it, but I've got a Shure XLR mic as well that I sometimes use if I want to interview people. But I don't. Well, I've got that somewhere.
I wanted to ask a question about the LED light that you showed the other day on your scope.
Yeah. There you go. There it is.
Oh, okay. That's a big microphone. Very professional.
Do you have something to say? And then I've got the XLR that goes in the bottom.
Live at 11.
Yeah, that also plugs into their phone. Go on. Yeah, sorry, Dee. Go on.
Yeah, that light that you showed us the other day, that little square LED light.
Yeah.
Have you tried that with your regular camera as well, like just for added light to do product shots, or just with the
I've only
your
played
phone?
around with it just with the phone for now. I haven't had a chance. I literally had it the same day that I scoped. And if you wanted to, because I just had those barn doors downwards and just rested the light on top of a bit of paper. But yes, if you could lift it up a little bit, well then yes, you can put better and bigger objects and stands underneath as well.
Because I wondered about doing it because I have a big floor tile that I pick my pictures of the things that I make.
Yeah.
And I've just been using my phone to do it. But many times the light is a problem in the room. Either it's too bright, or if I want to do it later in the day, it's too dark. So I thought that might be a great solution, but I'd have to do it kind of off to the side.
I'm here.
And further away.
Yeah, but I just found it really good because it was a nice light across the whole width.
Can you see anybody?
It wasn't necessarily directional. There was 160 LEDs in it, and just gave a nice light.
Register.
And then when the barn doors were down the side, it just reflected the
now
light
search
all around as well.
Search for Ginger.
You have a little bit of shadow, but that was nice. Just gave things a little bit of depth to it and gave a bit of three-dimensional effect to it as well.
And the gradient was nice, the way that the light worked.
And it's
that was just a white bit of paper, and obviously the camera exposes for bright light, and obviously as the light intensity tapers off towards the back, it just did the gradient automatically. So I was, I just simply took the phone to it and took some photographs, and I was really impressed. I'll see if I can quickly find them now.
Yeah, they were good. They were very good.
So quick and so easy.
Very quick.
Even the black, even that. Can you see that?
Yeah, excellent.
Even that was just
that's
put
really nice.
on a bit of black plastic.
Yeah.
And there's a speck of dust by there, but
very nice.
That was really quick and no setup, no exposing for anything. Just got the phone.
Excellent. Yeah.
You've got really that nice reflection in the bottom as well.
Yeah, good.
Very good.
And even on the white,
can't
really see too good.
That's amazing.
It's really good.
It was so quick and easy, and it's the same light all the time. You don't have to worry about. And as you say, you've got that gradient.
Yeah, I've got. I bought 4 little versions of the LEDs. They were. Are you familiar with a company online called 7 Day Shop? 7dayshop.com.
I've heard of them, yes.
And they're really come up every now and then some offers. And I bought 4 of these little LED things. They are so bright, like you say, and you can clip them all together. So it comes out. So you can have one just on top of your DSLR.
Yeah. Or
you can put 4 together and everything, and they're quite good. The other thing, while I think of it, I should say, I was speaking to Kelly, Mother of the Mountains, yesterday on her scope, and she was talking about something she'd done, and I said, oh great, did you learn that from Andrew at the bench or what? She said, no, I'm not an at the bench member because I'm in America. So I said, well, that makes no difference, you can still be an ATV member. No, she said, I'm not in the UK. I said, and then I think it was Kathy came on or somebody and said, yes you can. So it might be worth you mentioning it now and again that, if anyone's interested in learning any skills, they don't matter about it.
Kelly says she is a member now.
Yes, I think she joined that day.
Did she?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
That's great. Thank you, Kelly.
Good.
That's very kind.
Is my check in the post or what?
Affiliate
links. I've got affiliate links on there. Thank you very much.
Andrew, Danielle wants to know if the LED light tends to kind of blow out the silver with the reflection.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And even if you're getting a reflection from the front when you're taking the picture with the phone, if this is showing up, but then all I would do is get a bit of white paper and make a hole in it and put that in front. So all you've got is a little hole where the lens sticks through.
Yep.
And then the white reflects upon the white silver, and then you don't see any.
You don't see anything at all. Same concept as a softbox, a light box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've got the light cube. I've got the pop-up tents. I've got the cloud dome and the image dome. But you need the light for it. You need the extra lights, and perhaps the exposure is dependent upon what light you have around you. But I saw someone use that little LED light and just put on the top, take a picture, messing about, and I found that was so quick, and I was dead impressed with the results.
I think I looked it up on Amazon after your scope, and I think it's about $45 US. Yeah, so that's very reasonable.
Good value, yeah.
I think I paid about £32 for it.
Yeah,
so it's very much worth it. Yeah,
I see in the messages here, Joseph with the smiley, as my son, he said.
Do you think he'd like to come in and say hi? Do you think he would?
15%, he's saying.
So if we're going to bring him in, we bring him in. Oh, that's your affiliate commission.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll jump off. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay. But yeah, I've even had a tube of tissue paper. But again, you've got to have these extra lights involved, whether you have the light on the top or lights from the side.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to grab a quick picture because you've made something and you're late getting it made and the customer's coming in and you got to take a quick picture of it and you don't have time to set up tents and tissue paper and lights on the top. Take a picture. Job done.
Yeah. Job done.
Joseph, we'd love to meet you. If you want to come in and say hi, there's a seat open.
Yeah, Joseph, come on.
Come on, Joe.
Come on in.
Say hello. Open seat. Joseph.
And Kelly's ready to come in too, but we'll want to let Joseph come in first while we have Mark here.
Yeah.
And I think
I'll go get Joey.
Joe, stay there, Mark.
You the whole point is so you guys can talk.
Yeah. Stay there, Mark.
Okay.
Joseph, you coming in?
You coming in, Joe? I'd love to, he says.
Well, he needs to click on the button that says join.
Click on the button that says join. But sure, it's not a good thing. click on the button, Joe, that says join.
There we go.
We'd love to see you.
There you go. Okay, do it, man.
And then Kelly, we want to get you in next, okay?
Okay. Hi.
Oh,
Hey.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. I've actually heard so much about like both of you people from my father, so it's it's an amazing.
He speaks of you often.
Yeah. I've just come from my studio, so I'm very, very wet and very yucky because it's very horrible here in London. So
It is it's kind of.
So I've been writing songs all day. So and
What are we having?
Sure.
You frozen again. Are you on your phone,
No,
Joe?
cooking.
Joseph?
Can't hear
He's
anything
back.
anyone's saying.
You keep freezing, man. Are you on that little phone here?
Pardon?
You keep freezing. Are you, I just
it's the
was that-
Wi-Fi.
Oh, my
London.
phone, it's rubbish. I'm in London. I've got like rubbish. So
I got four. I got 14.
Joe.
it's rubbish. I'm gonna. My connection's really shitty here, so I.
Joseph's got off to America, Ginger, in a couple of weeks' time for his next tour. Where you going? Where are you going, Joe? Oh, he's
gone. Jules, come back home.
He's off to America in 3 weeks, I think. He's doing a month's tour of the States.
Oh, he says he's got a bad connection. Okay, well.
Yeah. Sorry, bad connection.
Jules said she wanted to come in, but she disappeared.
She went away. Jules and Kelly both wanted to come in. I'd love to have you both.
Yeah,
I'll go.
No, stay there.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, showing off now.
Hey.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. How you guys doing?
Fine.
Hi.
Oh, I should put my earplugs in. Is it better if I put an earphone in?
I think it might be better, yeah.
I just had it. There it is.
Chicken running down the road with it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a worm or a snake or something. Literally. No. I've seen my chickens have played tug of war with garter snakes.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Really.
Wow. A garter snake's dangerous?
Hold on, I can't hear you.
No.
But I know you're there. All right. Can I hear you guys? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear now. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good.
All right.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
I'm good. I just got off work. I couldn't hear. I didn't catch the first half of the blab. But
you
wasn't
missed
it wasn't as interesting as this one.
Fantastic. You know, you missed some brilliant tools.
What's your favorite hand tool, Kelly?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I have a couple here. Well, this is my favorite ones. When I found this guy, it is a here we go. It's a half round and then flat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like my favorite tool.
Oh yeah, right.
I got a little blue tape so I don't mark my metal up. But I love that tool. That and the ring bending plier.
Yeah.
Excuse me a minute.
I love that somebody invented this. This
Isn't
is
great.
on so many levels. This is great. And, you know, it's not just rings. I make little small hoop earrings, whatever. This is like, and big coils. These are great. I also have the bracelet bending one, but I use this one more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have the same one. I shared the same thing before you came in, I think. That was that was one of my picks, one of my favorite picks. I'm with you on that one. Yes.
There you go. Yes, definitely. And then don't laugh, but fingernail files.
Oh yeah.
My favorite. Yes. I go in and I make the beauty store people look at me like, what is she? Right. Why is she? And I don't use them on my nails, but I have a drawer full of different sizes, grits.
Yeah. That's it.
And about every 8 months I go and restock or longer, but I swear by those.
I've been known
on so many levels.
I've been known to use actual ring half round metal files, Swiss files on my fingernails.
Yes,
well, it's right here. Why not? Yeah.
Andrew, where do you buy? Do you buy those in the chemist, Andrew? Here?
Yeah. Or the pound shop. I'm not quite sure how much they are.
That one,
let me guess.
Shape, that's a great shape.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what is that? Is that a metal file or a nail file?
Me?
You, yeah, Kelly.
They're all nail files.
Okay.
This one is a 180 grit.
Wow.
So each one's a little different, and but the spongy ones, those are nice. You can cut them. Yeah. You can, they go right around the edge of the silver. I mean, they're just amazing.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah. So, and then I have one more. It's what my husband made.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was great.
I don't know if any of you guys saw my Periscope, but this was. It's a UK book. I love those books. I love your guys' style. It's in this book, and it was a pattern. And since my husband makes stuff, I was like, make me one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he made me 3, and I use them to make veils. It's for those little tiny pieces of metal that you can't bend with your fingers because your fingers are going to scream at you.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 of them, and each one is a different diameter.
I love
so he's just made these out of scrap wood.
What book was that? Was that Stephen O'Keefe's book?
Yes, it is.
Hey.
Great book. Great book.
Props to you, Andrew.
See, I read them all.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, it's like a switch is falling out.
He's got 2 books out. They're very good.
He's got 2 of them out?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to get the other one.
He has 2, Stephen O'Keefe.
You want me to show the other tools my husband made, Dee?
Yeah, and but while you're doing that, Kelly, Andrew Sovella Jewel says, how about you use that file on those teeth you have in there?
It's not man enough for the job, I don't think. She goes, she's turning around. Wait a minute. Kelly.
Kelly, you missed it. Look.
Oh, nice. You know what? Those files are great because they work on acrylic teeth too, right?
Oh, dear.
I don't have a lot of tools my husband made. Dee's asking me to show us all my tools. I have 3 of these. I mean, he made me benches more than tools. So he made me 3 sizes, kind of thing. But he made my bench.
That's great.
That's nice.
They're brilliant teeth. Wow. They are.
That bench is gorgeous.
About the bench. Look at my teeth.
Your teeth are gorgeous. So he made my bench, and he made my soldering table, and he's made a lot of things like that.
Oh,
it's the other way. Yeah.
You guys are silly. Here we go.
I
went into my.
On mine, it's that way.
There you go.
Oh,
hey!
Nice.
There you go.
I haven't got anything to wear.
I went into my child's closet.
That's nice. I like that.
You even like it as well.
I like the yellow one and put the yellow one in the front.
Hey, in my book.
Is that
Fundamentals of Metalsmithing? Yes. Do you know that in my copy of that book only has 1 L on the jewelry?
I don't have that one.
You had it cheap, did you?
1-0.
It's spelled the American way on my copy.
Really?
Yeah.
It just went out. Yeah.
Amazing.
Just jewelry.
Instead of jewelry.
Who's the author, Mark? Dennis is asking who's the author.
It's Tim McCree.
Tim McCree.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Jules says she has to go. We wanted you to come in, Jules.
And this one, of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here, I'll jump off so she can show her.
Oh.
Does she want to show her tools?
Let me see if she's gonna.
You still on, Julia?
I don't mind going. If Julia wants to come on.
Let's see what she says. I don't know. She said she had to go, but I asked her. We'll see. She may be already gone. Let's see at the top. Is she still here?
No, she's still there.
She's still here.
It's Tim McCreath, Brennis.
Yes.
Yeah. Tim
Yes.
McCree.
Tim McCreath. Mm-hmm. I'll write it here. Just a minute.
Oh, she said she's not even home. She'll come in next time. Okay.
All
All right.
problem.
Well,
what about Drennis showing us your new tools?
This is what I use for a mouse. It's my Wacom tablet. Because
There's my Wacom.
Yeah, my man.
what is that? What is that?
Graphics tablets.
Graphic tablet.
Oh, so you can.
You use your pencil. You know,
There's my wine. Where's my
That's
pen?
pretty cool.
I got a pen. There's my pen. You can use a pen
Yeah, my
or a
pen.
mouse.
Nice. I want one of those. I don't have one of
Oh,
those.
they're great. Mine is
That's impressive.
mine is finger as well. Finger
Oh.
roll pen.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I can do finger roll pen. But
I doesn't work with my finger.
I need to stretch this back now. I've nosed it up. Okay, I'll put it down. I was trying to get down to tell Tim McCreath for Drennis. REIGHT. Yeah, Neo. What's his name? Neo
Warrior 56.
Yeah.
With his rare Florida chickens.
Neo Warrior 56. Tim McCree. Okay, he wanted to know. Drennis wanted to know the author of that book that that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. He's a nice man.
Well, I gotta just
Yes.
get my screen back up again like that. Yeah. Okay. So.
I was looking at a light pad.
Danielle said she was looking at a light pad yesterday to transfer designs to tracing paper for layout on metal. I want to know how that works.
Light pad, yes.
Wow.
Designs for
I don't
tracing
know what a light
paper.
pad is.
A light.
Do you guys use this design on CAD and everything too?
Yes.
Is that why you're using these?
I use a couple. I've got Jules Smith.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like that 53 paper?
Yeah, but you never did your Jules Smith. It would be completely. Is that similar to Matrix? Do you know about Matrix?
Yeah. It's I got Jules Smith. I've done some pieces on, and I've also done things on Dual CAD as well.
Okay.
And
So I haven't got Matrix. No, Matrix is far too expensive.
Yeah.
You use pencil, don't you, Ginger?
I draw with pencil. Yeah, I do.
Old fashioned.
No, I mean the not. I don't mean.
Oh, the
iPad pencil.
the iPad pencil. Yes, the 53 paper, the one that Shelley uses.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just say something while I think of it? Andrew, did you get the email I sent you that somebody was looking for somebody?
Birmingham School.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a 3D thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Danielle's just put up a link for what she's talking about. So Artograph. That's
Artograph, right?
yeah. Let me see what that is.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Can we go
cool.
to Blab and look at this? What we're doing now?
It's all being recorded.
Is it? And it's saved on Blab, yeah.
Yep, it's
The last one Ginger put on YouTube.
Yeah. So
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, but you won't be able to see the chat and all that on if you watch it on YouTube. And so I just didn't know Blab is in beta, so I didn't want to, I wanted to preserve it more than one way, just in case.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But because Andrew is listed as a host, the replay will be on his profile as well as mine.
Okay, good.
And I'll put this one on YouTube also.
Yeah, great. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So Danielle says the LightPad is a quick and easy way to transfer designs. Tattoo artists use them a lot.
Really?
And helps refine refine a few layers of designs. So that's interesting. Yeah, very cool. I've got that up on a tab on my computer. I'll look at it later on too. Cool.
Very high tech.
Who's that? Julia Peralta. Julia, right. Hi, Julia.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone's going.
Where'd she go? Gadget love. But Danielle said she did not want to come in. I would love it if she would come in, but she said she was making dinner and didn't want to come in this time.
Is anybody else wants to come along?
Yep.
I have one more tool to show.
All right.
Show.
And it's a husband-made tool. Dee was asking.
I thought you were going to say it was my husband then.
He's working hard right now.
Wow.
Is this what it is?
That looks.
What is that?
Whoa.
Oh, it's a jump ring, Meek.
Jump ringer.
Thank you. Yes, you get lots of props, Andrew. Yes. Back when in the first, semester they were doing Byzantine chains. You need lots of jump rings. So let's see if I can turn this. Here we go. Yeah. So I just stick it in my vise.
I made a Byzantine for my wife years ago.
And my husband had broken drill pieces, and this is all what it is: broken drill pieces and everything in an old chuck. But what I use to make my jump rings on is my mom's knitting needle.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I mean,
Great.
that's can't go wrong with that. So that was nice. He welded it up and
have you seen how much they cost? I think there's a Durston one.
There's a lot.
Silly money. Silly.
This is God.
Yeah.
$20.
Right.
That's it.
So so then you cut the jump rings by hand?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't do a lot of jump ring work, so I haven't invested in that cool jump ring cutter yet.
Oh,
but
Danielle says she has a heavy one, very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one that I got second. I have the jump ringer. I got it secondhand, and so I didn't pay anywhere near what they really cost.
No.
Oh, good.
But it comes with a little a cutting box, and you put a blade in your flexi shaft.
Yeah. I'll give you flexi shaft.
Yeah, and then
that's right.
Put the jump rings in the box, and there's a lid that you put on that has a groove cut in it, and then the blade in there, so you could slice them all at once.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it also comes with a safety guard so you don't cut yourself with that blade. But I managed to cut myself with the blade, and I sliced up a big. I had to go.
Oh, really?
I had to go get it sewn up.
Oh, that's terrible.
So be careful.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I don't have one of those. I stick the jump rings on a shish kebab skewer,
right,
and then just slowly, carefully, and I have the leather fingertips on my fingers, and just take my time.
Kelly says she uses a hand drill that she just puts the hand drill in the vise.
Yeah.
And
that's another way to do it.
They were Yankee, I think. Were the original ones Yankee?
Yes.
If my
Mom, they're like the best things on the planet.
That's right. Yeah.
Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah, that's right.
People ask me, "Why do you use this?" I'm like,
I've still got one. I've got one of those.
My husband collects old tools. He gave this to me when I started out.
I had one when I just started my apprenticeship when I was 15 as an electrician. And I still got it.
Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Yeah, and it works better than the ones they make today.
Yeah.
I mean, the old tools, you can't beat the old tools.
I know, brilliant. That's right.
Anybody ever use one of these?
Archimedes drill.
Oh yes, I've got one downstairs.
Ooh.
It was my dad's.
It's a little pin drill.
Yeah.
Archimedes
Oh, that's a
drill.
cool one.
Archimedes drill. Yeah.
Archimedes drill.
Yeah. So you put the drill bit in here, and it's a twisted thing with a spring, and you just boom boom.
Makes sense.
Well, I guess you would you would push it down and then slide this part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you want this to stay in contact.
And why do you have one?
Why do I have one? Because I didn't have one.
They're cool.
They are
I want one.
the boringest.
That's good enough reasons.
It just takes 10 minutes to drill a hole.
No, I think
it's a Zen thing.
The reason I have it is because years ago I was doing a workshop, and I think it was on the list of things to bring because they didn't have a flex shaft for every person in the class. So they wanted you to have some way to drill a hole so you wouldn't have to wait for the, and I honestly haven't used it since then.
They are good. They are good because I sorted out a toolbox for Suttons to sell. And I said, you need to include one of these drills because you can then start to pierce the insides of things. And as slow as they may be to keep doing this, it works.
It is slow, but if you're for tiny, tiny, tiny holes, if you're using those little tiny bits, like a Dremel or some other kind of drill is just too big and too fast, and you can't control the speed of it. Yep. So.
Dee is asking, do you still do workshops?
Me?
I don't know.
No. I would love to. Here's the thing,
yes,
for
Ginger,
years,
she says yes.
Yeah, for years and years, we have a place here called Penland School of Craft. And there's also one called Aramont. There's Haystack up in Maine, where Tim McCreate is from. And I've been many, many times, and you go for a week or 2 weeks, and you study with someone who's a professional, and you take a class in, say, I've done one on hydraulic die forming. I've done one on enameling. I've done one on forging. And my thing was to be really, really careful in choosing the workshop, because you don't want to, depending if you're, this is going to sound bad. I don't know a nicer way to say it, but my time is valuable, and I don't want to spend a week in a class where they're teaching how to use a saw.
Yeah.
If I'm paying $2,000 to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so a lot of the classes are mixed levels, and that's great. That's great. It's just that I have to choose carefully how I'm spending my time and money. So, so I've done some great ones. I usually look for the master's classes now. The ones that are for people who are professionals who are, wanting to learn something new or spend some time in the studio with somebody whose work is at the Smithsonian, for example. Does that make sense? Does that sound arrogant? I don't mean for it to.
No,
really don't.
No.
So
well, after 25 years working as a pro, the training class you want to choose has got to be at the level that you want to learn at.
Right. Now, that being said, Penland School, people come from all over the world to study there. It has an incredible reputation. It's right here in North Carolina. It's in the mountains, not that far from where my daughter lives, actually. And it is a magical place. I have to say, there have been times when I went just because I needed sort of a spiritual recalibration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's good for that kind of thing too. It's just magical. It's magical. So, and I have a friend who's a ceramics artist who went. They have studios in 10 different media, and so she's a clay artist, and she went for a ceramics class, and it was a bad fit in that the instructor was doing really conceptual work, and her work was more toward functional pieces. And she just got into a situation that wasn't going to help her grow as a maker and as an artist. And so I know that's what I mean when I say you have to really pick, select carefully. So does that
I tutor as well, and people think that I do classes, and I would never teach a class because everybody is of a different ability, and you can only go as fast as the slowest person.
Right.
So then people who do have a bit more of an ability are paying money just to sit there to wait until the slowest person catches up.
Yeah.
And that's something that I said that I would never do. So I do teach on a one-to-one basis, because then we can go as fast or as slow as that person wants, and you can tailor to whatever they want to make or whatever they want to learn, that person, but not what everybody else wants to do. So the only time that I would teach a class, and I have done a couple of times, was up in Sedbergh, which is up in North Cumbria, and who's on? Shelley was up at one of those, and that was good fun. And that's the only time that I would really teach a class. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So if people come to me, it's on a one-to-one basis, and they have my attention 100% all the time.
Yeah. So I do the same thing, where I have people who will come and work in my studio with me to learn something in particular for 2 or 3 days at a time, or even a week at a time. I do that kind of teaching, and I love teaching, and so I enjoy doing that. And I like it when it can be really, really personalized and individual to that person's skill level, so that they're not having to sit there. Because if you think about it, from an organized school like Penland, they have to look at meeting the greatest, the lowest common denominator, right? And so that's why most of the classes they offer are for all skill levels. And because they don't want to turn people away, and it's a business, So
up until about 2010, I was doing about 3 seminars a week, and this was one of them. You can see that costing and pricing, all for young managers and business startups, with and I used to get like 20 and 30 people in a class, and it's heartbreaking. It is so difficult. How can you teach somebody who has been made a redundant person from the steelworks, and some advisor has said, well, what's your hobby? And he says, carpentry. Right, you ought to start your own carpentry business, And I'd have him in my class teaching him how to do a business plan, and I may as well have been speaking in German. I felt really sorry for these people. I got told off by the Welsh government once because my numbers for people starting business were too low, and they said, why are they low? So I said, I really don't know. So they said, well, we're going to come and sit in on one of your classes. I said, fine. So they sent the head honcho down, and at this time I was head of training, so I already trained 10,000 people. And when it came to the thing about starting your own business, they said, is it a good thing or not, Mark? And I said, it's very dangerous. I said, and you've got to be very careful. It's good and bad. It's you're your own boss, but you can't take a day off because you don't get paid. You can't be sick. You don't get paid. And I told them all the negative things about it. And I said, but if you have that passion for it and you can do it, and you wake up in the morning, you can't wait, you've got to go for it. Have a go, and you'll do it. But just remember that. And they told me off for telling, the Welsh government told me off for telling them all the negatives, talking them out of it. You mustn't do that.
Telling the truth.
Yeah. I said, listen, I've been there. I know what it's like, I've had the bank manager phone me up. He said, all right, I'm going to phone you every Monday from now on. I've had that before now. Back in the day, the bank manager phoned me every Monday. How was business last week? How much is banking? Terrible. Especially in the 80s recession, that so many friends went. So but training can be good fun. As one-to-one would be brilliant.
Yeah, and that's what
one-to-one's fun.
People will say, well, what do you teach? And I say, whatever you want to learn.
Yeah.
And then I get the people then to send me pictures of the sort of jewelry that they liked or they want to make. And then I say, okay, well, let's make that, because there's not much point. Me thinking of a particular ring design, and it's something that they're never going to wear, or they're never going to, they're just going to chuck in the drawer. So I'd rather teach them how to make something that I know that they will wear. So I always encourage the people then to send me the ideas, the designs, the styles, what I think they can achieve in the 1 day or the 2 days. And we work to that, and they go away with a piece that they could only dream of 1 or 2 days prior to that.
Yeah.
And that is really nice nice way of being able to work, rather than having to work with a whole class, which would drive me mad.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I actually had somebody ask me if I could teach them how to solder, and I was like, well, I'm still kind of new at this. And they're like, oh no, you can do it. I'm okay. And they came over and I showed them how to do basics, and I surprised myself. They walked away happy. They actually had a piece. I taught them how to set a piece of sea glass, and I was just kind of, on both levels, blown away that I showed them, blown away they wanted me to show them, and that they grasped it so quickly,
right.
And it was a good feeling all around for sure.
Lovely.
I had a student who wanted to know how to make a box, like a container, and to her it seemed like she could make jewelry, but there was something about making a container that seemed like with a hinge and how's it going to fit and all that. It just seemed really daunting to her. But we spent 2 days and we worked through it and walked through step by step. And at the end of it, she's like, wow, I did this. I actually did this, and it's, I think sometimes people, they're on the outside of our world and they don't know, they can't understand what goes on. And when you break things down into small pieces and you have someone show you, and I know for me, when I was learning, I taught myself as much as I could, but I got to a point where I had to see somebody do it. Yeah. And I only had to see it one time, but I had to see somebody do it and have her watch me and go, okay, you need to hold this way, or do that, or do that. Or if you do it this way, it'll be easier, and here's why. And it took once, and I got it.
It all makes sense.
Because you understand it with your head, and then you got to understand it with your hands.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to relate to
there's like pants or hands.
Your teeth.
your hands and then your pants.
Sorry. It's the accent. Sorry.
I remember when I was about 12, 13, and I wanted to play drums, and my mother said to me, okay, do they read music when they play drums? So I said, yes, they do. So she said, okay, I'll get you a drum tutor and a pair of drumsticks. And if you can learn music, if you can read music by the end of the year, I'll buy you the drum kit. So I said, okay. And it was, I got this Buddy Rich drum tutor, and I looked at it, and I read every word. It says right hand, left hand, and I struggled. And then after about, 3 months or something, there was a guy who came to town in a big band who was giving lessons. Jeff Myers, his name was. And he became a professor at Leeds University of Music. He was brilliant. So I went to him, and he said, what do you know? And I said, oh, well, I've been reading about the paradiddle. He said, play it. I said, I can't play it. I can read it, but I can't play it. So he said, right, like this. Oh, and it suddenly all fell into place. Yes, I can do it. But I needed to see somebody do it. It's like soaring, you need to see somebody, right? If you're going to follow the line, do that, but God, don't force it, and
So I'm amazed with my daughter. She plays the drums.
Yeah, that's right.
It is the standard stave.
Yeah,
and each line has a different meaning. Where the hi-hat and the bass or the snare,
bass drum is on the bottom one. Yep,
and it's absolutely brilliant. You can actually see it, and then when she starts to play it, you can actually understand. So it's not necessarily notes on the actual lines, but the actual drums.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, fantastic.
But by the time I finished playing, I was sight reading. I would turn up to do a session, and there'd be no music there, and the guy on the stick would be talking, and he'd be saying, "Okay, guys, we're going to do this, we're going to do that," and then the copywriter who was over in the corner still writing the part would come up and put the part in front of you, and the ink was still wet.
Really?
You know, and look at it, you go, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. You've never seen the piece before in your life. But the thing is, you should do it every day. It was like reading the paper.
That's it, exactly.
You know,
exactly. But it is. Sorry, Kelly, go on.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just going to ask a question. I was going to ask you and Ginger, mainly, and Mark, and anybody else there who's been doing jewelry a long time. Do you, when you're at the end of your piece and there's your final product and you're looking at it, do you still get like amazed that came out of your brain? Do you still feel that like, I did that?
A lot of the time, I look at it and I think, well, that wasn't as hard as what I first thought out it to be. And I think it's when, going back to what Mark said, when whoever it was, when you actually look at something, it looks really, really complicated. But when you start to break things down into sections, and then you can put those sections together, you can put together something really, really so complex that is really so easy. And 9 times out of 10, I'll have a particular commission that I will put off for weeks until the last minute. Yes. And then I finish it within a couple of hours, and I think, what the hell was I doing? This was so easy.
I did that yesterday.
There we go, Exactly, You think, well, why have I put it off for so long?
I know, some things just apart.
Changing the subject very slightly, where is Shoshana tonight? I expected her to be here.
I don't know. She said she was going to come, but I don't see her.
No, she's not on now.
She's not on now.
It's a shame. She hasn't been on for a while. No.
Life, kids, chickens, squirrels. And I think also, Kelly, you might relate to this too. There's that, when you look at the finished piece in your hand, you go, oh my gosh, I actually did that. But there's also, as you're working through the phases of making something, toward the end, you get to this point where, is it done or is it not done? I could do this extra thing. I could try a different polishing compound or tweak this or tweak that. And I think for me, it's like I hear a little voice that goes, stop, you're done. And because you learn to hear that, and then you learn to stop when you hear and to do what the voice says, because you know what I mean? Because otherwise, don't ignore the voice.
Stone setting. When you're trying to set an opal, for instance.
Right.
And you think, oh, that claw or that bezel isn't quite down enough. And then you do that last final thing and you crack the stone.
Yeah.
Stop. Well, I've learned to back off a little bit and not worry too much about the finer details.
Because I'm still a learner, I'm very new at it.
We're all learning. We're all still learning, okay,
but
Mark?
But
all learning, okay.
Because it's still a lot of it is new to me. It looks like it's finished. I think I think that's it now. How do you know? What would Ginger say if she saw that? What would Andrew say if they say, yeah, well, that's okay, but don't you think you'll be better off to do that and better off? So I look at it and think, yeah, okay. And then I show it to my wife, who's got a great eye, later. I said, what do you think? And she says, it's lovely, but I think you've overworked it.
Yeah.
And so many times she's right. I should have stopped when I thought it's like Andrew said, but without breaking it, it's just.
Yeah, sometimes you can, as you say, sometimes you can polish something too much, and perhaps you will take the edge off something, or perhaps you will polish a setting that a little bit too much, and perhaps you could have polished it beforehand. Yeah,
it just takes the soul out. I know that where you had that, it was alive.
Yeah.
And then you killed it. It just, now it's a piece of junk. It's a piece of stuff you hang around your neck. But before it had a message, it was. But a bit of you in it,
But even if it.
Well, it still has a message, Mark. It'll remind you for next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about pieces like that. The reminders. Don't do that again, or take the time with that step. I just submitted on a scope the other day. I botched a soldering spot, so I took the stone out and redid it. And somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, you admitted your mistake." I'm all, yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's like everything. It is just pure experience. As as some of you will know, that someone sent me a picture of a particular earring, and they said it did not look professional enough.
Yeah.
Which was great. So then I redid the earring in the way that I would do it, and it looked professional. So we went through everything. Thanks, Mark. So I went through all the stages, and perhaps there was fire scale on it, or the edges were slightly rounded, or that's a cool picture. I'll screenshot that now. There you go.
Isn't that weird?
That's cool, isn't it?
We're going to break the internet again.
Absolutely. There you go. So yes. So sometimes things don't look professional enough because you perhaps don't have the experience, or you don't know the techniques well enough to actually perhaps finish a piece. So I think it does come with practice, and the more you practice something, and the more you analyze it, you then will break things down into steps, as we just talked about earlier. Perhaps if you feel that when you finish your silver piece, there's a lot of fire scale on it, well, then let's do something to stop the fire scale. Not now, but right back in the very beginning. So when you come to the final piece, you don't have to over polish it, overwork it, over file it to correct the mistakes that you could have made, the mistakes that you could have corrected right at the very beginning. And I think that only purely comes with experience.
I also think it's really helpful, and however you can find this in your life, in your studio practice, but to have, as you're learning, a community of
brilliant
people, that so you can say, I know I'm not done, but I'm not real sure what to do or what my options are. So okay, well, you could take this approach and do it this way, or you could take this approach and do it this way. And having someone that you can kind of bounce those ideas around with, especially if it's, I think it's like you're talking about, your wife has a really good eye.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Yeah. And if there's someone like that, and even better if it's somebody who understands jewelry making.
Yeah.
So then they can also say, so it's kind of like when I used to teach workshops, I would always stop at, when we had about an hour left of the day, and make everybody come together, and we had a group critique. And
that's smart.
And it didn't matter where you were in your process, finished, not finished, doesn't matter. You just bring your pieces, and we would all gather around this big table, and everybody would say, here's what I have, here's what I've done so far, and this is what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And then other people could say, hey, that's great. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And so that kind of dynamic is really, really useful. However you get that, Yeah. We could do like a critique blab. We could do a group critique blab.
That's one of the beauties of this, the communication we have today, like Blab and like Periscope and like just like online computer learning.
Even Instagram does.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, finding Andrews at the bench thing, and this is this is no BS. It was great for me because I'm very wary about passing over money to anybody for anything online. But I saw it and looked at it, and it's been tremendous because I can. Last thing at night when I'm in bed, just before I shut up, I watch it on my iPad, and it goes in. I think, it's great, and I can go back again and again, and I can watch him do it a million times.
Mm-hmm. And you can send me an email or send me a picture.
That's right.
And I'll reply. Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we could never do that when I was a kid. You had to learn. You read a book and that was it. But we're very lucky today. I think our children are very lucky as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's very true.
Absolutely.
I mean, this form right here, it's just we've created something. Or Andrew and Ginger and Shoshana, you guys have created something here. And I mean, so many of us are feeling how awesome this is, and it's not just on Blab or Periscope. It's I never was a Twitter person, and now I'm like,
that's right.
Okay,
Me neither. That's right.
I'm more of an Instagram, but I've had issues with something, and I posted on Instagram, and I've got all this feedback from all these great jewelers. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that trick, or I'm going to try that one, and because I want to take another class. And just the other night, my husband's like, well, if you still have something to learn, you should. I'm like, cool, I got the go ahead, and
Cool.
So I'm thinking about, going back again and putting some more stuff under my belt just because, just more confidence, more, and watching more, videos that you guys do and stuff. I was skittish about getting a bigger torch, and I came across your video, Andrew, on the Easy Torch.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he explained it in a way where it makes sense. It's not scary. I loved what you call the wrench, all these, it was just awesome. And, thank goodness. And I bought it, and I'm still getting used to it, but I got it. It's in my house, and there we go. Well, it's in my garage.
That's what it's all about. Anybody can sell a piece of equipment if they look at the specifications, but you need to sell a piece of equipment by explaining the benefits and what that piece of equipment can do for you. And there's not much point saying this pendant motor does 29,000 revs a minute. That doesn't mean anything. But if you say it does this, it does that, and it does this speed, it does that speed, you can sell it based upon the specifications. The customer doesn't need to know what the specifications are. They want to know how it will benefit their business or benefit their jewelry making, or that's the way you sell something. And that's what I try and do with At the Bench. You don't say this phone has a 12 megapixel camera and it does this and that. You don't explain that. You explain how it benefits the customer. And once you've done that, it's sold.
Features.
Well, it's also. Oh, go ahead.
Did you see the message?
It's also the part about.
Sorry.
There's no instructions that come with things anymore.
No, that's right. That's another thing. I just wanted to point out that Seattle Shani has posted a message, which might be worth reading. She says,
hi.
She's been making jewelry for 3 years now, and when I have my first piece done, I would like to get opinions from this awesome group. By the way, my name is Joanne Shao.
Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Welcome.
Seattle Shani, you've been here the whole time. We didn't know your name. I'm so glad to meet you.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. And
Dranis, it is an amazing journey. He's just saying about the journey through the communication what we've just been talking about. It is a great journey. It's terrific.
So, guys, we are like 2 hours and 15 minutes in now.
My God.
My wife's been messaging me saying...
How about Dranis? Did Dranis want to get on? I need to get off. My daughter just come. I need to check in on her and listen to you guys. I'll jump off. I want to see... Dranis got this cool box of tools the other day, and I'm curious.
He showed us a hammer before you got here. But
I missed him.
We'll find out if he has. And Savella Jewel is named Jillian. Hi, Jillian. Welcome. Or
She's
Jill.
Not far from me.
I'm Jillian.
Jill, hi, Jill.
Jillian's not far from me.
Okay, great. All right, so Dennis says he'll pop back in real quick, and then.
Okay. I'm going to pop off.
Okay, bye, Kelly.
Me too. I'm going to do a quick exit.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys, and we go with some of the other bit. Nice to see you soon.
Keep in touch, Mark. We go to that ring sometime.
Yeah,
You're welcome. With Periscope here.
All right, so last call.
No, Drenis doesn't want to come on.
Ready for you, Drenis, if you want to come in. He's coming. Okay, he's coming.
Okay. Hey. Will his connection be better?
I hope so.
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
Hey,
Dennis.
Hello.
Am I on?
The hat.
You sound better. Your audio is much better.
Oh, great. Yeah, I got to run you guys off my laptop, and I got to run you off my phone because for some reason you're not breaking we might not be breaking the internet, but Blab is definitely breaking my phone. It lags it too much. Andrew, my friend, I have joined you. I have joined you.
Gone. Oh, my bottle's gone. Empty.
Cheers, Ginger.
Oh, cheers.
Guys, what an amazing forum. What an amazing forum. You guys gave us such a treat there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was listening to all the comments. Hey, puppy, you want to say hello?
Hello.
This is my little nephew, Tony. You guys
Hi,
see him?
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Tony. Hey.
Okay. All right. And it was so great. That was just it was such a great insight, guys. It was so great. And I kept saying, this is a master's class in itself. And it truly, truly was. Plus, you guys had us cracking up so much. Prior to that, Andrew just drove everybody crazy.
I don't know what you mean.
There.
Completely natural.
Complete and natural, baby. You gotta say.
I don't know how I'm going to better that next time.
What a great forum. That was really.
So, Jonas, before we sign off for the night, was there anything else in that toolbox you wanted to show us?
Yeah, I actually did. You guys talk about your favorite tools, and as a beginner in the beginner's corner, really, one of the first things that I started to really think on considering on what to really put my money into is a torch. And I've seen what Andrew does. I've seen you guys, and I see the type of torches you guys get, or you guys have. Sorry about that. But I saw one of Andrew's videos, and in his video, he pulls out a Dremel torch, or I see a Dremel torch on his stand. And you actually go into it, Andrew, and you say, regardless of the fact that you're going to probably end up getting other torches in your as you move up the line.
Yeah.
There are applications that these type of torches apply to still. Yeah. So it's great to have around. Yeah. So I decided to get this as one of my first torches. And
that's great.
Yeah. And what I really think that's really great about it, and I think Andrew also pointed this out, that these torches have advanced themselves. These torches are not what they were or what I used to know when they had first come out. These torches have really gotten I'd say they've put some finesse into it. So the reason I got this torch primarily is because it's butane and it's cheap. It's cheap to get butane. It's easily refillable. You don't have to get a delivery of propane or a delivery of acetylene, or you don't have to go to the welder shop and get it. So you could just get your propane tank. And it's also portable. It's also very, very portable, which is one of the things that I'm concentrating on, because I don't really have a place to put a studio, or as Cartier, the jewelry company, calls them, ateliers. I don't have a place to put a studio. So not yet, because I'm moving into a new house. But as I get there, I'm trying to build a very portable, say, jeweler's box or a portable jeweler station, which I have started. So this fits perfectly within that theme. Now, just to show it a bit, this is really one of my favorite. Well, it's one of my first, but it's one of my favorite too, because it's so simple. You do the safety, you turn it on, and I don't know if you could see the flame there, but I think what's cool about this torch that I love, and it's one thing that I picked off of seeing what I picked up of your guys' videos and what you guys show, and what I'm learning is that your flame height or your flame intensity matters a lot in what your intention is to do with the metal at that moment. Yes. And this one gives you, as you can see, I'm raising it up. I don't know if you could see the flame. Maybe if I put it against, hold on, I got a black background here.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could get a nice little flame for when you want to kind of maybe anneal, or use this to anneal a little bit. And then you could also pull it back and get a nice little fine pencil frame, as I've learned, for when you want to do more soldering jobs. And this one ranges between the temperature of, I think it's approximate, but I think it's between 1200 at its lowest Fahrenheit, and it actually goes all the way up to 2100 degrees Fahrenheit. So for me, when I researched what would be my best bang for the buck for what I'm going to start with in this process, I said those are the temperatures that kind of have the metals that I'm going to be working with are within that range. So this is definitely one of my favorite tools. It's a Dremel.
Even though the temperature may be that, if you have a large mass, it's going to take a long time to heat up the whole mass to get the right temperature. So obviously there is not one torch that will do the whole lot. But what you've got there is absolutely brilliant. It'll do so much. And everyone used to laugh at me when I used to do the films with that type of torch, because they're saying, well, that isn't a proper torch. But it's the way you use it that really does help.
I agree. And that's why I made it one of my first purchases, because I see how it can apply down the line. As I go down, I know that I'm going to need bigger torches to get the bigger masses of metal annealed. And of course, those are going to come. But for now, for a soldier that's going to serve you well and serve you long, here, it's a journey. So that, to me, that's the famous right now in my tool bag.
Brilliant. Thank you very
Dennis,
much.
do you have a fire brick or a solderite board or some kind of surface to solder on?
I actually just received one yesterday. I just received a kiln. I received a kiln brick. But to me, what I want to build is, I saw Andrew's video, and for the newbies out there, great tip. You build a kind of soldering station, either at tiles that can handle the high heat, or bricks that can handle the high heat, or anything that deals with the high heat when you are soldering, or when you're using these high temperature flames, as you see other people using in their videos and their instructions. You can build a whole station out of that material. Andrew, I thought that was one of the smartest ideas, to have that little station and build it out of materials, which they're not just effective, but they're also economical.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can get, Dennis, you could go to like Home Depot or something and get a concrete backing board that you can cut it with a box knife, and you can get a whole sheet of it. It's really cheap, and you can cut it into sections and cover the wall, cover the table, and make yourself a little fireproof area with that.
Yeah, that's what you need. What you guys showed is that you need that area to kind of just contain, basically just contain anything, anything that might happen.
Back onto the area that you're working on.
To the point where Andrew,
called Wonder Board. Daniel, help me remember.
His centrifuge. I can't say the word right now, but the spinning cast with the centrifugal force.
Mm-hmm. Centrifuge.
Saying that, the centrifuge. Yeah. That's why we say Andrew does his own stunts.
He doesn't need a stunt double.
He doesn't need a stunt double.
Yeah. That's fabulous.
That's starting out, to everybody that's there starting out, we're definitely looking into money and saving money and trying to just make smart purchases. And I think it's great because we sit here and we listen to you guys, and we pick up. You guys were talking about how the connection is made via the internet, and the connection is made via what we have accessible to us today. And it's true. I sit there and I can learn 4 to 5 things on a daily basis. And all it is listening.
Yeah.
So, props to the internet. Props to what you guys have formed here. It's amazing.
Well, I think it's wonderful for us too. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. And I was thinking about this, came up before we were talking. I got little blue feathers all over me. One of the things that I treasure about this forum and this community is that there's no judgment. There's nobody saying I'm better than everybody else. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to ask whatever you need to ask. And that's not true of every forum out there.
That's right. Exactly. There's you don't get anything from criticizing anybody.
Yeah, and people do it because they're trying to make themselves feel more important. And I don't have a place for that in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys handle them very well, I think. You guys handled them very, very well. Sometimes Andrew throws out a joke back at him, which I love. Should please learn how to spell. Ginger's just like, I ain't got time for that. And she starts blocking. Ginger even blocked me the other day.
I'm a little quick with that blocking finger. I think I
have no idea why.
Well, you saw, and then Andrew couldn't get in the scope, and so you two, I had to stop my scope for you.
Oh.
Go out and get everybody and start again. It was good. It was, and that's probably a good note to end on, because that scope was a hoot, and I don't know. The replay is probably gone now, but it is on Catch, and I'm going to go back and watch that one myself, because I'm still confused. Like, I'm still.
That was a good one.
There's a question from Kelly, and I think it's a good question too, because I started scoping yesterday about our Perry journeys, how everybody's Perry journey is different, and I just wanted to document my little start of my Perry journey and what's going on in my life at this moment. And she asked, how did you guys end up on Periscope? Like, how did it happen for you?
Andrew, you've been on longer than I have. Why don't you go first?
I think I saw a tweet from Shoshana. I don't know how it came about. I went onto her website and I saw something about Periscope. And I just simply had a look at it, and I watched Shoshana for one or two scopes. And I thought, I'll have a go at that. I can do that, because I'm obviously in front of the camera doing all the films and that sort of thing. And that's how I've just gone from there. I didn't plan out to do anything. I just thought, well, let's go on and let's see if I can connect with people. I didn't say, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on Periscope. I'm going to teach people. I'm going to chat to people. It was nothing like that. I was very inquisitive. And I thought, well, what is this all about? And then you see like Shoshana's, 40,000 followers or whatever it is. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of people out there that can benefit. So let's try and transfer what I do on sort of at the bench to do it with Periscope. And I had one person say, I don't want you to do Periscope. I want you to concentrate on at the bench. I'm not interested in going anywhere else. I want to learn from at the bench. And I said,
don't understand
that's what I do. The Periscope is a bit of fun. It's quite informal. It's a chat about daily life, and it's about what we do at the bench. It's not at the bench website. It's something completely different. And that's just the way it is. We have a laugh, which is what it's all about.
I agree, Andrew.
How about you, Ginger?
I agree.
For me, I first heard about Periscope in a business mastermind that I'm part of. And the person, she's a friend of mine, and she's actually a coach for...
Are you in Dr. Evil?
Am I what?
Are in that mastermind with Dr. Evil?
I haven't seen him, but if he shows up, I'll run. No, it was just a friend of mine who had heard it from her business coach, who's a different person than my business coach. Now, we used to be in the same mastermind together. And so I got on to watch her. And the more I found the map, and I was like popping into people's scopes, and like, I was just like Andrew, just very inquisitive, like, what is this thing? And I was hearing about how fast it was growing, and how, and I found Alex Pettit, good place to learn, how it works. And then I found Shoshana, because I was looking for jewelry. And of course, if you look for jewelry, you're going to find Shoshana. And Shoshana's,
I agree.
Shoshana's probably the reason I started scoping myself, because she is always encouraging people to do that. And so I said, well, I'll try this and see what happens. And I treated it a lot more rigid and formal at the beginning, because I was like trying to figure out, and those scopes were not recorded, by the way, they're not on Catch. And so my first few were very, very much just me trying to figure out how it works. And then I found Andrew, and it just kind of,
It snowballs.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It did. And then there were several things that happened. Like one of Andrew's scopes, one of the first ones I watched, he was at the IJL event in London. And he starts talking about Mary Duggan. And Mary Duggan and I are in the same mastermind as well. And I thought, well, this is crazy, because look how small this world is, that here he is talking about her, and I'm going to see her in 2 weeks. And it's just crazy. And so the way it's all kind of grown and come together has been so organic and cool. And
yes, agreed.
Yeah. And I also think, I've always enjoyed doing social media. I've always used social media for my work, and just on a personal level, just in general. But what I love about this is how quickly you go, you feel like you know somebody, because
I think it's like a more tangible experience.
Yeah, it's because you can't, like, you can craft an Instagram picture and make it look exactly the way you want it to look. Same thing with a Facebook post. You can sit there and like make it perfect. But this, you can't
done it myself.
It's real and it's raw.
It's real and it's raw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's real, baby.
Too
That's
much.
how we would say it over here in America, Andrew. It's real and it's raw, baby.
And it's really, I love that it's about, it's a real way to have authentic connection. And I think connection is so important, because our work can be so isolating, and it's just really, really valuable to have a community, a tribe, people who get what you're talking about.
Inclusion. And Ginger, you hit it on the point when you said before, there's really no judgment. If you think about it, when we walk about as the Australians would say that, but theirs is going to the bush. I'm talking about going to, let's put yourself into a city and you walk out. And especially a big metropolis, or, New York City or London, or you're going to go out there and you're going to bump into a million people in your lifetime, maybe. But how many of those people are you really going to end up connecting with? This has been a forum where that actually you can open up and you don't judge, and you watch and you kind of integrate yourself with these people. It's so much easier than it would have been just by walking down the street. Mm-hmm. And I know in my own case, people look at me, because I'm in a wheelchair and I get around. If people don't know, I had an accident about 20 years ago, so I use a wheelchair to get around. And I always see the looks, and I love the looks, but I don't know if they're looking at me because they think I'm handsome, or if they're looking at me because I'm handsome and in a wheelchair.
You're handsome. You're a handsome bugger.
Oh, thank you, sir. I was looking for a compliment. But you kind of think, why are they looking at you? But on here, I've actually seen people that would have never done it. One would have never done it, actually start to do it. Or you make that connection with that person where it's like the 7th degree of Periscope. It's like the 7th degree of Periscope. It's like, through Shoshana Scope, I learned about Andrew. Through Andrew's Scope, I learned about you, Ginger. Through you, Ginger, I've learned all these other things. And it's like through all these other people, I've met all these other, and it's that one electrical connection. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a rule breaker. I think it's a pioneer, just like all you guys have been. You guys have been amazing pioneers to all of us. And I think it's something that really hasn't caught on yet as to the magnitude of its power. Mm-hmm. I think people are catching on, though.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, you guys are great. You guys have been doing such an amazing job at
But it's not a job. It's, this is what we do. This is what we are. We don't class it, as you say, it's an amazing job, but this is just what we do. And this is the way we help each other. And as you say, there's no we're up here, you're down there. There's nothing. We don't judge anybody. We're all equal. So mm-hmm. It's a pleasure to do this. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Dennis. It's a pleasure to talk to everybody on here. Mm-hmm. It is a pleasure to do it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it.
It is a true pleasure.
I'm just here for the magic Welsh tape.
I'm here for the magic Welsh tape.
I'm kidding.
You're here for the magic Welsh tape. And
so, for those 13 people who are on still, who want to follow myself and Ginger.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yep.
Ellie says thank feel like we're all in the same boat. Yes, I agree. Dee says they are our heroes, and I agree on that too.
I like Danielle's hashtag, Creative Collective. That's nice.
Creative Collective is very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I like
Very
that.
good. Awesome. All right, guys. So we're like past 2 hours and 40 minutes. So we
It's time for bed.
We did a record. This is somebody said I was looking sleepy and maybe I was nipping into Andrew's wine. No, I'm ready to go home and have my dinner. I think I can't believe it's been that long. It didn't seem that long.
And it really was truly great from beginning to end. What an amazing job! I applaud you, and I think everybody else that came into the play.
Yeah. So everybody have a wonderful evening, and I'm sure we'll see each other on Scopes in the future. Andrew, any last words?
I'm going to bed now.
All right. Kelly says next time we have a potluck.
But yes, subscribe to us. Subscribe to us so everyone knows then when the next Blab's going to be.
So if you follow me, and Blab doesn't let us set it up dually. It has to be one or the other. So follow me and I always tag Andrew. And that way, when we do the next one, you'll get a notification when it gets scheduled. Yeah. And Andrew and I will talk about that. What? Oh, Mark's leaving?
Kelly says I'll make the pies, and Mark says good night all.
Oh, good night, Mark.
Good night, guys.
All right, guys. So have a great night. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, Andrew. Bye, Ginger.
Bye, Ginger. Bye, Ginger. Going? Are we going?
Everybody has to X out of it.
Is it out?